Can I get in the car? Seeing Xiaoyu's dull expression, Zhang Chen stretched out his hand and waved it in front of her eyes. Oh, yes, of course. Xiaoyu came to his senses and quickly opened the rear door for Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen sat directly in, while Li Hu left directly because he was looking for a presidential suite in a nearby hotel. Xiaoyu sat back in the driver's seat, fastened her seat belt, and turned to Zhang Chen with a sweet smile. Mr. Zhang, do your best, let's set off. The service is excellent. Zhang Chen couldn't help but sigh in his heart. This is the power of money. Sitting in the car, Zhang Chen looked at the high-rise buildings on both sides of the street and felt bored. Xiaoyu, what do you mean by the commissioner driver? Out of boredom, Zhang Chen took the initiative to find a topic. Mr. Zhang, Xiaoyu will be your full-time driver from now on. As long as you are in Shanghai, he will be there at your call. Xiaoyu replied. Hey, the club also provides each rich man with a beautiful driver. And looking at the posture, it doesn't seem like it can be driven onto the bed. Rich people really know how to play. At this moment, Zhang Chen finally understood. Why does every club member have to pay a membership fee of 880,000 yuan? Xiaoyu, have you ever been someone else's driver before? Zhang Chen took advantage of the situation and asked. This issue must be clarified. Principles cannot be lost. Mr. Zhang, each specialist driver can only serve one rich man. If the rich man quits the club, the corresponding driver will either leave his job or find another job. Xiaoyu obviously heard the meaning of Zhang Chen's words, and his face became more and more rosy. I didn't expect the club to be quite humane. Zhang Chen couldn't help but praise. Half an hour later, in the center of the Magic City, in front of a building, Xiaoyu stopped the Rolls-Royce. After getting off the car, Zhang Chen couldn't help but look up at the building in front of him. It looked to be about 30 stories tall, which was much shorter than the surrounding buildings. The club is in this building? Zhang Chen asked Xiaoyu beside him. Mr. Zhang, this building is the club. I will take you in. Xiaoyu explained. Be good. This is the correct lifestyle for rich people. In order to build a club, a 30-story building was built directly in the city center where land is at a premium. I just don't know who is behind this club. Mr. Zhang, I will take you in. Xiaoyu made an inviting gesture and led Zhang Chen into the building. As soon as they entered the door, two strong men in suits with expressionless faces came forward. I'm the driver Xiaoyu, and this is Mr. Zhang. I just joined the club and haven't applied for a membership card yet. Xiaoyu took out his ID and handed it to the two strong men, and introduced Zhang Chen's identity. Mr. Zhang, excuse me, please cooperate. The two strong men bowed to Zhang Chen and then took out a metal detector. Zhang Chen understood this very well and asked the other party to scan it with a detector. After all, those who come here are rich, and safety is the most important thing. Mr. Zhang, please. After confirming that there was no problem, the strong man made a please gesture to Zhang Chen. The movements are neat and uniform, sonorous and powerful, and the momentum is in place. Passing through the lobby on the first floor, the painting style in front of Zhang Chen instantly changed. A large 3-meter wide corridor leads directly to the elevator, with a red carpet on the floor. Various paintings and ornaments are hung on both sides of the corridor. From sketches and portraits to abstract oil paintings, and from red wine to blue and white porcelain. These items belonging to two worlds were hung as decorations on both sides of the corridor, and they seemed extremely harmonious at this time. Mr. Zhang, the artworks hanging in the art corridor are all authentic. If you like art, Xiaoyu will accompany you to visit here. Xiaoyu said. Are they all authentic? Zhang Chen couldn't help but be slightly surprised. Although he doesn't understand art, he also knows that anything related to authentic works nowadays is definitely worth a lot of money. This is not an art corridor, it's clearly money. Well, for example, the oil painting in front of us was handwritten by a master of oil painting in the 1980s. The club spent 20 million just to purchase this, CCAJ, oil painting. Xiaoyu pointed to an oil painting on the wall of a foreign woman holding a vase and explained to Zhang Chen. After hearing the price, Zhang Chen felt slightly bitter. It's not that Zhang Chen can't afford the money, but because his values are different. If Zhang Chen were asked to buy a luxury car with 20 million, he would definitely not even blink an eye. But if you spend 20 million to buy a painting that you can't understand, then you should think about it carefully. Take me to other floors. Facing the treasures in the corridor, Zhang Chen felt powerless. Okay, Mr. Zhang. I will take you to the top floor to apply for a membership card first. Xiao Yu pressed the elevator for Zhang Chen, and then directly pressed the button for the top 30th floor. Whenever the elevator goes up a floor, Xiao Yu will introduce the function of the current floor to Zhang Chen. Clothing, food, housing, transportation, food, drink, and entertainment can be said to be all available in this building. In this regard, Zhang Chen could only sigh. There is still a big gap between myself and the rich people. While you are still thinking about how to make money, others are spending money in different ways. Soon, the elevator reached the 30th floor. There is a small bar on the 30th floor, but apart from the staff, there are not many people there. After all, it was still daytime, and those rich people must be busy with their own business. Unlike me, I can make money even while lying down. Mr. Zhang, please wait here for a moment while I go to apply for a membership card for you. Xiao Yu arranged a booth for Zhang Chen and then walked into the backstage of the bar. While Zhang Chen was waiting for Xiao Yu to apply for his membership card, a man in a white suit came uninvited and sat next to Zhang Chen with a bottle of red wine. After seeing the appearance of the visitor, Zhang Chen felt a vague sense of familiarity, as if he had seen him somewhere. But Zhang Chen thought about it for a while, but didn't remember it. This friend has just joined the club. The man in the suit was a familiar face and took the initiative to say hello to Zhang Chen. Don't reach out to hit the smiling person. It's obvious that they're here to make friends, so it's hard for Zhang Chen to refuse. Well, I joined the club last month, and I will come and play for 2 days this month if I have time. Zhang Chen replied with a smile. Let me introduce you to me. I am Chen Shikong from Best Group. I am known in the industry as someone who likes to make friends. Chen Shikong said and poured 2 glasses of red wine. Damn it. Why'd I say that it looks so familiar? It turns out that you are Chen Yuhao's father. Zhang Chen looked at the generous and hospitable Chen Shikong and couldn't help but think of the domineering Chen Yuhao. Apart from looking alike, the two are completely different in temperament. Brother Chen, my name is Zhang Chen. From now on you can just call me Brother Zhang. Zhang Chen grinned, appearing less enthusiastic than Chen Shikong. Chen Shikong glanced at Zhang Chen in surprise. I always feel like something is weird. Zhang Chen and Chen Shikong chatted for a while, and Xiao Yu walked to the booth with a membership card made of gold. Mr. Zhang, this is your membership card. Please keep it. This is your only certificate for entering and exiting the club. Xiao Yu presented the exquisitely crafted gold card in front of Zhang Chen with both hands. Brother Zhang was actually rated as a gold-level member by the club. Chen Shikong, who was sitting nearby, was surprised when he saw Zhang Chen's membership card. Is it possible that there are different levels of club membership? Zhang Chen looked at the membership card in his hand and asked curiously. The club membership card format is similar to that of a credit card. In addition to the engraved dragon and phoenix patterns on the card, Zhang Chen's name is also engraved on it. In addition, the card is made of gold, giving it a crystal clear golden color. Very atmospheric. Mr. Zhang, the club will classify members according to their personal wealth. Bronze members are classified as having a net worth of 10 million, silver members are classified as having a net worth of over 100 million, gold members are classified as having a net worth of over 1 billion, and platinum members need to exceed 10 billion. Mr. Zhang, you have a luxury car worth nearly 80 million in your name, so you have been rated as a gold member by the club. Xiao Yu explained to Zhang Chen in great detail. Zhang Chen suddenly realized that the club must have estimated his net worth based on the luxury car in his name, so they rated him as a gold member. According to Zhang Chen's current net worth of more than 20 billion yuan, he should be rated as a platinum member. I didn't expect Brother Zhang to be so promising at such a young age and become a gold member at such a young age. Seeing how outstanding Zhang Chen was, Chen Shikong thought again of his own son who failed to achieve anything but failed more than he did. As the young owner of the Best Group, he can't even arrange the purchase of a house. They are both young people. Why is there such a big gap? Thinking of this, Chen Shikong couldn't help but raise his head and sigh. After chatting with Chen Shikong for a while, Zhang Chen and Xiao Yu walked out of the club building. Now Xiao Yu is Zhang Chen's specialist driver. If Zhang Chen is willing, Xiao Yu can even stay with him 24 hours a day. Including bathing. Xiao Yu, take me to buy a car. Zhang Chen ordered Xiao Yu as he walked out of the building. Although the club equipped Zhang Chen with a Rolls-Royce, Zhang Chen is also a billionaire after all, so there is no reason to use a car. The club's offline activities will be held in 2 days, and all the people attending will be big shot figures. By then, everyone else will be driving their own luxury cars, and Zhang Chen will not be able to get on stage in the club car. Mr. Zhang, Gui. Xiaoyu first asked Zhang Chen to get in the car, and then continued to ask, I wonder what brand of car Mr. Zhang wants to buy. Anyway, it's just for these few days. You don't need to buy anything too expensive. Let's buy a Rolls-Royce for transportation, Zhang Chen said calmly. Xiaoyu's eyes are full of stars. Buying a Rolls-Royce as a scooter? And just for these few days. My God, how rich Mr. Zhang is. Following Zhang Chen's order, Xiaoyu drove the Rolls-Royce to the Name Rolls-Royce 4S store in the city center. Zhang Chen, accompanied by Xiaoyu, walked into the 4S store. Welcome. The salespeople at the 4S store stood neatly in 2 rows, all greeting Zhang Chen in the gift room. As a super luxury car brand, Rolls-Royce selects sales representatives who are fair-skinned and beautiful beauties. Each was wearing a black work suit, paired with translucent black stockings and black high heels. That's an eye candy. These sales were made by seeing Zhang Chen get out of the Rolls-Royce with a beautiful driver. Definitely a rich person with purchasing potential. Mr. Zhang wants to buy a Rolls-Royce as a short-term transportation vehicle. Do you have any recommendations? There was no need for Zhang Chen to speak, and Xiaoyu told the purpose of his visit very discerningly. Zhang Chen was very satisfied with this. Look, this is the life of rich people, no need to say more. Buying a Rolls-Royce as a short-term mobility vehicle is a very wealthy person. Take care of what is necessary. Hello Mr. Zhang, I am Han Xiying, the sales manager of Name 4S store. I am happy to serve you. Han Xiying, who was wearing a sales manager badge, first saluted Zhang Chen, then took the car to a classic Rolls-Royce and recommended. Since Mr. Zhang, you are buying the car for short-term use, this car, the new Ghost, is more suitable for your needs. Han Xiying has worked in the 4S business for many years and knows the rich very well. Please give me flowers. To put it bluntly, rich people have a good reputation. Zhang Chen, who wants to buy a Rolls-Royce for transportation, has this image in Han Xiying's mind. When buying a short-term mobility scooter, you definitely want to buy a cheaper one. After all, no one would say that they want to buy the cheapest Rolls-Royce. Because of this, Han Xiying recommended to Zhang Chen the Ghost, the cheapest in the Rolls-Royce series. Guster? Zhang Chen first glanced at the price of 5 million, then looked at Gust in front of him, and then shook his head dissatisfied. Ghost is the cheapest model of Rolls-Royce. The entire car is built in accordance with Rolls-Royce's consistent family style. For Zhang Chen, who is used to driving the limited edition Phantom, the whole car has no highlights. Mr. Zhang, Ghost is the most classic and practical model among Rolls-Royce. Han Xiying thought Zhang Chen thought the price of Guster was too expensive, so she reminded her tactfully. At the same time, Han Xiying became more and more convinced that Zhang Chen was the kind of rich man who wanted to save face, and her tone became much more dismissive. If you can't afford more than 5 million, how dare you buy a Rolls-Royce? This car is not bad. While speaking, Zhang Chen looked around the exhibition hall, and finally fixed his gaze on a completely white Phantom. To be precise, this Phantom is the most expensive in the entire showroom, and the rest are priced at around 5 to 6 million. Mr. Zhang, that car is the long wheelbase version of the top-of-the-line Phantom. The guide price is 9.2 million, and the final price will be at least 11 million. When Han Xiying saw that Zhang Chen had taken a fancy to the most expensive car in the showroom, she quickly reminded him. That's it, Yuan Ya, Zhang Chen said, took out his bank card and handed it to Han Xiying, asking her to go through the procedures. Han Xiying took the bank card with extremely respectful hands, turned around and left to handle the business for Zhang Chen. With her back to Zhang Chen, Han Xiying patted her chest in fear. Fortunately, she didn't show it just now, otherwise she might have lost her job. Mr. Zhang, you are only traveling for a short time. There is no need to buy this kind of car. Even though Xiaoyu knew that he was just Zhang Chen's full-time driver, he couldn't help but persuade him. I really can't stand it anymore, it's so inhumane. Not long after, the sales manager Han Xiying came back with a stack of vehicle procedures and UnionPay receipts in her hands. Time is money, and I have to say that Rolls-Royce has done a very good job in terms of efficiency. If you were an ordinary person, even if you want to buy a Wuling Hongguang, you would waste half a day going through various procedures. And Zhang Chen bought a Rolls-Royce for 11 million, and it took less than half an hour. Mr. Zhang, the total cost is 11.06 million, I will charge you 11 million, please. Mr. Zhang, I don't know if you have channels. If not, our 4S store can help you register the vehicle. After Zhang Chen signed the receipt, Han Xiying handed over the vehicle procedures to Xiaoyu, who was standing aside. After being reminded by Han Xiying, 057, Zhang Chen then remembered that vehicles in the Magic City still need to be drawn by lottery, and it is estimated that only a few lucky people out of 10,000 people will win the lottery. Zhang Chen was unfamiliar with the place in Shanghai and couldn't get a license plate. Is the license plate legal? Zhang Chen took advantage of the situation and asked. It is illegal to trade license plates privately, and the law does not allow the transfer of license plates at all. Even if Zhang Chen's Rolls-Royce has a purchased license plate, it will be judged as a fake car. A billionaire actually rides a brand new car. Zhang Chen can't afford to disgrace that person. Mr. Zhang can rest assured that we will use legal channels to list your listing. Han Xiying explained with a smile. Then it's up to you to do it. Just report the amount needed to Xiaoyu directly. Zhang Chen said. Mr. Zhang, I wonder what license plate you want. In order not to affect your travel plan in Shanghai in the future, I suggest you choose the last number of the license plate according to your travel plan. In order to control the environmental quality of the city, the first thing the authorities implemented was the vehicle restriction plan. Depending on the last digit of the license plate, there will be 10 days a week where travel will be impossible. Han Xiying was very thoughtful and took this issue into consideration for Zhang Chen. Limit line. Zhang Chen then handed the bank card to Han Xiying. Then buy 2 cars and drive them alternately. Xiaoyu. Han Xiying. This is a Rolls-Royce Phantom worth 11 million. Just to avoid the 1-day-a-week car limit, I bought an extra car. The two of them glanced at Zhang Chen, who spent more than 20 million yuan without blinking an eye, and then thought about their meager monthly salary. The evil money ISM is heartbreaking to think about. What, is it possible that you don't have a car here? Zhang Chen couldn't help but ask when he saw Han Xiying's dull expression. Yes. Yes. Mr. Zhang, please wait a moment, I will go and handle the procedures for you right now. Han Xiying reacted, quickly took the bank card with both hands, and transferred money to Zhang Chen. If you have money, you are your father. At this time, Zhang Chen is a father figure in Han Xiying's heart. These 2 Rolls-Royces alone brought her nearly 100,000 yuan in commission. In addition, after buying the car, she had to buy insurance, so Han Xiying could get another commission. I have to hug this thick thigh tightly for a while. A rich man of this level comes here twice a year, and I get crazy. Han Xiying kept reminding herself in her heart. The procedure was faster this time. It only took 20 minutes for Han Xiying to trot back with the procedure in hand. Mr. Zhang, please sign. Han Xiying was panting and stood beside Zhang Chen. Strawberry flavor, quite sweet. Zhang Chen turned to look at Han Xiying's watery lips and said something confusing. After a while, Han Xiying understood the meaning of Zhang Chen's words, and her pretty face turned pink. The lipstick she applied was fruity and strawberry flavored. But what did Mr. Zhang mean when he said it was quite sweet? Could it be that he wanted to taste it? Is this a hint? Men who work seriously are always handsome. Han Xiying looked at Zhang Chen, who lowered his head to sign, with thoughts running through his mind. After signing, Zhang Chen handed the receipt to Han Xiying and asked, "Can you drive?" "My driver drove here. Find someone to help me send the remaining 2 cars back." "No problem." As Han Xiying said, she took out a business card from her pocket, added a mobile phone number on it, and handed it to Zhang Chen with both hands. "Mr. Zhang, this is my business card. If you need anything in the future, you can call me. This is my personal phone number." "Any needs?" Zhang Chen gave Han Xiying a strange look. "He also gave me a private number. This is the rhythm of causing trouble." "Mr. Zhang, where is your home? I'll give you a car." Han Xiying blushed and asked, changing the subject. "Just help me send it to the club first. If you want to help me send it home, that's fine too." Zhang Chen replied seriously. Hearing this, Han Xiying's face became more and more rosy, and she didn't dare to look at Zhang Chen anymore. She is not a casual woman, how could she be so proactive? 5 minutes later, Han Siying asked another colleague to come over, and each person drove a car and left the 4S store. Half an hour later, 3 Rolls-Royces were parked downstairs at the Regal Club. Mr. Zhang, are you a member here? As the sales manager of Rolls-Royce, Han Siying has some familiarity with the upper-class society in Shanghai, so she is no stranger to this wealthy club. Yeah. Zhang Chen replied lightly. After getting Zhang Chen's answer, Han Siying's eyes became brighter and brighter. Those who can join the rich club are all billionaires. He looks so tall, rich and handsome. Mr. Zhang, please go ahead and call me later. I'm available within 14 hours. Han Siying bent down towards Zhang Chen, as if she deliberately let Zhang Chen see the 2 big balls. Okay. Contact me when you have time. Zhang Chen glanced at the dazzling white snow and said with a smile. People say they are available 24 hours a day, so how could Zhang Chen not understand? However, although Han Siying's appearance is not bad, there is still a big gap compared with provincial school beauties like Chen Yin'er. 3.4 It can be used as a snack to change the taste, but it cannot be used as a staple food. After parking the car, Han Siying stood there and watched Zhang Chen walk into the club building. Sister Han, why are you in a daze? The colleague who came with Han Siying waved his hand in front of her and said. Nothing, let's go back. Han Siying came back to her senses and sighed. Sister Han, do you have a crush on Mr. Zhang? Are you kidding me? Mr. Zhang is young and rich. How can he fall in love with me if there is no woman around him? Sister Han is a famous beauty in all the 4S stores in our city, why can't she be worthy of her? After hearing this, Han Siying made up her mind and must seize this opportunity. This is an opportunity for her to ride in a Rolls-Royce. Han Siying stood at the door of the club building for nearly 5 minutes before leaving with her colleagues. Zhang Chen naturally doesn't know this. He has many people to choose from now, and it doesn't necessarily have to be her. Xiaoyu walked in front of him, his figure curled up, leading the way. The 2 walked into the elevator. Xiaoyu pressed the button for the top 30th floor. He turned around and said with a smile. Mr. Zhang, there are not many club members during the day. They usually play on the top floor. Only in the evening, there will be more members in the club, especially when there is another offline party 2 days later. If you want to change your taste, there are many interesting places in Magic City, and I can take you there at any time. Zhang Chen shook his head slightly. No, just go to the top floor to play first. He also wanted to see if he could meet some other big guys and talk to them to expand his network. Meeting Chen Shikong was purely an accident, and the final result was good. The elevator quickly reached the top floor. Zhang Chen asked curiously as he walked. Who is the founder of the club? Xiaoyu was stunned for a moment, shook his head and said, Mr. Zhang, I'm sorry, I don't know much about this kind of thing because of my position. Other guests may know a little bit. I'll go back and ask, and I'll tell you later. Forget it. Zhang Chen waved his hand. It's just a matter of curiosity, it doesn't matter. Xiaoyu agreed, but in her heart she was concerned about this and was going to go back and ask her former boss. Returning to the small bar again, apart from the staff, there were 3 more young people chatting not far from the front desk, but Chen Shikong was not there. Zhang Chen was slightly surprised when he saw it. Could it be that those people were gold members just like him? If you really want to calculate it that way, there is still some strength, because the 3 young people look young, similar to him. Mr. Zhang, if you want something to drink, just talk to the people here, I'll go down first. Xiaoyu gave a few instructions and then left directly. Zhang Chen looked around at the drinks and had no desire to buy anything, so he just found a place to sit down. In the distance, 3 young men were chatting, but now their eyes were turned to Zhang Chen. That woman just now, if I read it correctly, should be the exclusive driver of the club. She will only make arrangements if her real assets reach a certain level. Where does that person come from? I don't know. It's the first time I've seen it. I've never been to the building before. I'll have an impression of it when I see it. Maybe he came back from overseas, but I don't know what level of membership he is. Let's go over and get to know each other. I've been feeling bored lately. I'm usually a bad old man. It's not easy to meet someone of the same age. The 3 of them were talking, each holding a bottle of red wine and a goblet as they walked away. They all wore casual clothes and sat not far from Zhang Chen. This friend, I haven't seen you before. Whose membership card does this new member have? The young man with yellow hair on the left smiled and said hello. The three people came here with good intentions. Zhang Chen had not learned much about this place and was a little confused. Huh? Whose membership card is it? The young man in the middle explained. That's it. For example, if I don't want to be assessed in advance, I use my dad's platinum membership card to come in. The same goes for both of them. They can also participate in various club activities. Zhang Chen raised his eyebrows. According to the club's rules, wouldn't it mean that all the three people in front of him have a net worth of at least tens of billions? Maybe it's from my grandfather's generation, but not necessarily. I don't know how much information I have accumulated over such a long time. He smiled and said, I joined the club before, and it was my first time to come to the Magic City to play, and I was rated as a gold member. The three of them were extremely shocked. Gold members? The net worth is at least 1 billion, and this young man in front of them is about the same age as them? The club will definitely not make an own mistake, and the rough evaluation result will only be lower than the actual value, not higher than the actual value. Among the three of them, Feng Jia, who has the most personal assets, only has less than 100 million. At least 10 times, the gap between the two sides is clearly reflected. Li Shang smiled bitterly, cupped his fists and said, I am Li Shang, the heir to Chujiang Biopharmaceutical Group. We are all young people. Come and make friends. As he spoke, he poured 2 glasses of red wine and pushed one over. When Huang Mao and another young man who spoke before saw this, they also poured themselves a glass of red wine. They had already concealed their shock at this time. Huang Mao sat upright slightly. I am Feng Jia, chairman of Tianyan Media Company. The last young man wore gold-rimmed glasses and looked gentle. Hello, I am Yi Xing, the heir of Taiping Insurance Group. The companies the three mentioned are all in Shanghai, and you can tell by their names what they do. Zhang Chen raised his glass and clinked it with the three of them. My name is Zhang Chen. The company is located in Nanchang. From now on, if you go to Nanchang, just look for me. To reciprocate kindness, the other party was so polite, and it was not easy for him to lose face to others. Moreover, this place, Magic City, is an international metropolis. If his company becomes bigger and stronger in the future, it is a good choice to set up the headquarters here. The contacts you have expanded now may be of great use in the future. The four of them are not very old, and they quickly became familiar with each other. Li Shang took a sip of wine and said with a smile, You will all go to the party in 2 days. How much money will you bring to play? 443. Just bring 10 million. The company doesn't make much money, and the pocket money is small. Feng Jia shrugged. Yi Xing curled his lips. I don't like me attending those gatherings. I attend youth gatherings. Zhang Chen understood what the three people said, but when combined together, he was a little confused. Zhang Chen looked at the three of them. Brother Li, the party we are talking about is the same party. Why is there another one in your mouth? Is there any hidden secret inside that I don't know about? At least Xiaoyu never mentioned the youth gathering to him. Li Shang explained briefly, and Zhang Chen immediately understood what was going on. The original offline gatherings were attended by a group of top wealthy people to discuss business, connect with each other, and exchange news. But as some rich people give their membership cards to their younger generations, young people also occupy a certain proportion. Rich people talk about business and develop connections, while young people talk about nothing more than sports cars, women, and watches. If the two sides cannot reach an agreement, they will naturally be divided into 2 parts and will not interfere with each other. Zhang Chen chatted with the three of them for a while, got to know each other better, and agreed to meet at a party. They exchanged contact information, chatted for a while, and left the club building. Xiaoyu wanted to follow, but Zhang Chen thought for a while and didn't ask her to come. Anyway, when needed, it was just a phone call away. After leaving the club building, Zhang Chen had not walked a few steps when Li Hu came towards him from a small tree not far away. Boss, the presidential suite is ready. The address is at the Peninsula Hotel. The scenery there is nice, and you can occasionally see a few orangutans. Should we take a taxi there now, or let the hotel staff come and pick us up? No need to bother. Zhang Chen waved his hand slightly and took out a bunch of car keys. He pointed to the Rolls-Royce parked not far away. Over there is the mobility scooter I bought today, and it has a number limit. I'll give you a copy of the car key. Just look at the license plate number and drive it. Words such as, bought today, and scooter, made Li Hu feel his breath suffocate. Although he knew very well before that his boss was very tough, but now he had a new understanding, and he could only look up to him. Li Hu took the car keys. Yes. I took the car key and pressed it one after another, making notes one by one, and found a Rolls-Royce with no traffic restrictions today. Boss, please get in the car. Li Hu opened the door and blocked the top of the door with one hand. The club building is not very far from the Peninsula Hotel. It takes about half an hour to drive there. When the Rolls-Royce parked in front of the Peninsula Hotel, the two waiters at the door noticed it before the car was turned off. One of them said, "Hey, look at that Rolls-Royce Phantom. Is it the one that cost more than 10 million last time?" "Hey, when you say that, it's really a bit, no, that's a Phantom of more than 10 million. While the boss hasn't gotten out of the car, hurry up and receive him." Another waiter said and rushed over to receive him. If the Phantom were worth 7 million, he would never be so enthusiastic, because there are few cars like that in the Magic City. But at the Peninsula Hotel, you can see just a few of them every day, and only a few of them cost tens of millions. Once he appears, he will definitely be an incredible boss. Another waiter hurried over. If the reception is good and the fingers are leaking, it will be enough for them to be happy for several days. The two waiters were standing a little further back. In this way, no matter where Zhang Chen comes out, he can be received immediately. Li Hu, who was driving, naturally sat in the back row. They had been working in hotels for a long time, so they naturally understood that the people sitting in the back row were the cool ones. At this time, the sound of the car engine became smaller and went out. When the waiter on the left saw that Zhang Chen was about to get out from his side, he quickly stepped forward to open the door and blocked the top with one hand. "Hello boss, welcome." "Yes." Zhang Chen nodded slightly and looked around. The surrounding environment is better, the decoration style is grand yet elegant, and it feels more comfortable than the five-star hotels in Nanchang. Li Hu locked the car door and guided Zhang Chen inside, followed by the two waiters. "I have booked the presidential suite before, so I just need to show my ID." Zhang Chen handed the ID to the front desk and ordered, "You will call someone later to bring the other Phantom back, don't delay things. That car will be restricted tomorrow, so it's better to buy another one." Li Hu nodded respectfully. "Okay boss, I will execute it later." The patrolmen on the road will almost get off work by the time they get off the road. As long as their luck is not particularly bad, they will basically not be in trouble. The two of them talked without avoiding anyone. When they heard this, the eyes of the two waiters who had been following them widened. "Another Phantom? The same model is worth more than 20 million? Moreover, the paint and interior of the car outside are very new, it is a new car." One of the waiters immediately said, "Boss, what do you think of me? Let me help you drive the car back later. There will never be any damage to any tiny part of the car." Zhang Chen pointed to Li Hu who was standing aside. "You're very smart, then it's up to you, follow his instructions." The waiter quickly thanked him. "Okay, thank you boss." Zhang Chen originally wanted to give him a reward, but after thinking about it, he decided to wait until things were done. After finishing the trivial matters, Zhang Chen went to the presidential suite on the top floor to look around and then strolled down. It's still early, it's less than 7 o'clock, and the nightlife hasn't started yet. "Li Hu, is there anything interesting nearby? Take me to take a look and relax." Zhang Chen looked at the neon lights outside and turned around and said, "This." Li Hu shook his head and was speechless for a while, he didn't even understand much. On the contrary, he had checked the area around the hotel and found no suspicious persons or surveillance. The waiter who said he wanted to help drive the car saluted and then said, "There are film crews filming around here, and there are also actresses performing water scenes, so they are all wet. Most of them are wearing white clothes. Under the light, it's a unique sight." There was another sentence that the waiter had some taboos about, and he did not say it out for fear of being overheard by interested people. That is, to be able to receive the treatment of being illuminated by lights, in addition to being good-looking, you must also be a smart person and have a good figure. Zhang Chen raised his eyebrows. He had nothing to do and immediately said, "Then lead the way and go have a look. If it's interesting, there will be rewards." As he said this, he casually took out 3 red bills and gave them to Tian as tips. After taking the tip, the waiter said cheerfully, "Thank you very much, boss. I'll go ask for leave now." On the other hand, The other waiter on guard could only watch helplessly, with envy in his eyes. He also wanted to do it, but he was always a little slow. The waiter who went to ask for leave came back very quickly and led the way. Take advantage of the fact that no one is around and say what you haven't said yet. Li Hu shouted directly and asked, "Then why didn't you say it just now and didn't say it until you got outside?" The waiter felt aggrieved and explained softly. The most people staying at the Peninsula Hotel in the past few days are female actors and actresses. They're very petty. If they know that I am talking about them like this, they will definitely cause trouble for me and I will be punished. Especially those actors who are good looking and good in all aspects, but not famous, or even more like that. Zhang Chen curled his lips disdainfully. Okay, it's all about money, isn't it? The kind of people who are looking for trouble, as long as the money is in place, they will say the word, really good, in the end. The night at the Peninsula Hotel is beautiful, and it's not far from the Bund. Next to the hotel is the Peninsula Apartments, which is loved by many famous rich kids and celebrities. The place where the waiter took Zhang Chen and Li Hu was the Bund. He remembered that several film crews came there to shoot and take pictures. They work overtime every night, and some actresses are still promoting themselves in order to increase their exposure. I was so wet all over during the performance that I was so cruel to myself that I even had to change my clothes when I got back to the hotel, showing off all the way. Of course, that's what ordinary actors do, but it's more advanced. Usually, photos are taken, such as the moment when you get out of the swimming pool, and then spread out intentionally or unintentionally, and the Navy creates a wave of hype. The three of them walked for a few minutes when they heard loud noises in the distance. There were searchlights flashing, and many people crowded together to watch. The girl on the left did a good job. You can see she's like that, Yuanya. You were scolding her before, but now she is like this after being splashed with water. Your requirements are a bit low. I heard that the goddess Lu Yifei is filming in-house, but no man has seen her yet. She is still single. Asterisk 927. I don't know whether it's true or not, but even if it's true, it's not something that people like us can hope for. Yes, if I have money, even if I can't kiss Fangzhe, I can still meet her. When Zhang Chen heard these discussions, his heart moved slightly. He looked at the waiter following him. Is what they said true? The waiter smiled and said a little embarrassedly, "This goddess Lu Yifei is very cold and cold. I have always heard about it, but I have never seen it. But there is no smoke without fire. Boss, in your capacity, is it not easy for you to meet me? Just ask Mr. Li to reveal something, and she will come over on her own initiative. Ordinary people want to meet alone. The crew will inform you tactfully that the goddess is currently unavailable. You can follow the goddess's social account, Yunyan. And switching to a top rich man or someone like Zhang Chen, who is young and rich, is another answer. Zhang Chen usually doesn't pay much attention to the entertainment industry, but to be praised as a goddess, I guess her appearance is not bad. I just don't know how it compares with a club-exclusive driver like Xiaoyu." He thought together and said calmly to the waiter, "Which crew is that goddess Lu Yifei you mentioned on? Take CCAH. Me over to have a look. I happen to know this. Boss, please go this way." The waiter smiled charmingly. After passing two film crews who were filming and framing, the three of them arrived at another place. This place is different from the other two crews. There are no onlookers outside because they are all blocked by large sheds. Unless you go to the other side of the river, you can only get a rough look with a high-powered telescope. Another way is to go inside the shed to watch, but there are security guards waiting outside and the requirements are strict. Zhang Chen glanced briefly, but he didn't say anything. The waiter who followed immediately ran to find the security guards. The waiter talked with the two security guards for a while. He came over with some embarrassment. "Boss, the two security guards said that a silver member of the Shanghai Rich Club is coming over and they won't accept him today. The silver members of the Rich Club are all billionaires, unless you, boss, are more. Obviously, this requires Zhang Chen to show his strength. Otherwise, if anyone is qualified to contact her, wouldn't the goddess seem worthless? Moreover, rumors are circulating that goddess Lu Yifei has not had any scandals or boyfriends since her debut, and she is completely innocent. There is no financial backer behind her to support her, so she relies solely on her acting skills and appearance to succeed. Whether they can meet privately or have a super friendship relationship is also the purpose of many men." Silver member. Zhang Chen was a little speechless. He, who was rated as a gold member, didn't say anything. If he really wants to be more serious, he can also change his gold membership into a platinum membership. Zhang Chen handed over his gold membership card. Show this card to them. If it doesn't work, go somewhere else tonight. We were all out to play anyway, there was no need to meet Lu Yifei, he was just bored. The waiter took the gold card, took a look at it, and felt a chill in his heart. Just looking at this gold costs a lot of money, and the card is instantly full and I don't know where it comes from. He hurriedly ran back and talked with the 2 security guards. When the 2 security guards arranged by the crew saw the gold card, their expressions kept changing. One of them said to the waiter very politely, "Sir, why don't you ask Mr. Zhang to sit inside for a while? My authority is not high enough to arrange a private meeting directly, but the result will be soon." Listening to the security guard talking to him with honorifics, I felt relieved. Although he knew that all this was achieved through Zhang Chen, it didn't stop him from being happy. "Okay, please hurry up, Mr. Zhang doesn't have much patience. After a while, Mr. Zhang may go to other places." The waiter excitedly ran to Zhang Chen and reported the situation just now. "Boss, the card you gave me is really magical." As soon as the other party saw the card, he immediately agreed to let us in. Now he has gone to call Lu Yifei. As he spoke, he presented the gold membership card with both hands. "It does have some effect." Zhang Chen took the card and muttered softly. He didn't need to do anything himself, he just needed to shine a light. He immediately took Li Hu into the back of the shed. At the same time, at the very back of the crew, 2 women were talking. There was no one else around them, so they spoke much more directly. One of the women, who looked older, said, "Yifei, you heard what the security guard said just now. A gold member of the rich club comes to see you. Compared to a silver member, there is a tenfold difference. You are tepid now, but you have no support behind you. If you climb up to that boss, you will be in trouble when you get ahead, it's not far." The woman advised earnestly, "Listen to me and reject the silver membership directly." Lu Yifei hesitated, "Sister Li, but the silver member of the rich club is young, and it will be more natural to develop and get along with him in the future." Sister Li immediately said, "That's about 30 years old, and you are only in your 20s. The gold member now looks young. The security guard can't see clearly how old he is in the dark. You will know better if you go over and meet. If possible, I will come to make arrangements for you." Lu Yifei was persuaded, and she nodded silently. "Okay then, should I keep my distance as before, or?" Sister Li held Lu Yifei's little hand and said, "If the conditions are right, the relationship can develop as fast as it can." Sister Li is someone who has been through this before, so she is clear about this. They've almost reached the rest area, so hurry up. Zhang Chen and Li Hu were guided by security guards to the rest area of the crew. But the hotel waiter stopped outside. According to him, he was quite lucky to be able to follow him here. "Just wait outside for Zhang Chen, don't expect too much. The service attitude is very good." Even Li Hu looks at the other person highly. People who can attract the attention of the boss have their own characteristics. The security guard led the 2 people to a place. He pointed not far away and said, "Mr. Zhang, there is a rest area in front of you. I won't follow you. I have to go back and guard the post." "Thank you." Zhang Chen responded with a smile. The security guard waved his hands quickly, with some excitement on his face. "It's okay, it should be okay." Although he was curious as to why the security guard was so excited, Zhang Chen didn't ask. He directly sat down on the main seat with a sigh of relief. There was no one in the rest area at this time, so Li Hu stood guard at the door. The security guard who led the way looked at it for a while, turned around and left. When he returned to his post, he showed off to his colleagues. "Hey, did you know that I just showed the way to the boss, and he actually thanked me? His quality is really good. That's a boss with a net worth of at least 1 billion, a gold member of the rich club." Another security guard looked up at the sky and said in a faint tone, "That's right. You beat me to it this time. I'm so happy." After only a short period of contact, "Do you think you can make as much money as that boss?" The security guard said proudly, "I'm happy to do it, just feel free to do it. Anyway, I talked to the boss." The other security guard turned his head. Although he didn't care on the surface, he didn't know what he was thinking. The door suddenly became quiet. Zhang Chen, who was in the rest area, never expected that 2 security guards would start arguing just because of what he said. If he said a few more words, wouldn't the 2 of them start fighting? "Li Hu, who was standing at the door, suddenly turned around and said, "Boss, two people have come. One is very beautiful and the other is older. Do you want me to stop the old woman and let the other one in?" Zhang Chen waved his hand slightly. "I just came here together, no need to stop me, I'm just curious." He has never been in contact with it and wants to come and have a look. Li Hu took 2 steps back slightly. "Okay." Lu Yifei and Sister Li walked side by side, still discussing what might happen on the way. Xiao Fei, the strong man just now, should be his bodyguard. After you go in, chat for a while to learn more. Never agree to any conditions at will. It's best to let the other party come after you. That. Lu Yifei was about to say that it was different from what he had explained before, but he held back. There are 2 ways, it depends on her decision. One of the main reasons is that Zhang Chen took out the gold membership card of the Regal Club. Lu Yifei entered the rest area ahead of Sister Li. Before she could see the person clearly, she smiled and said, "Hello, I am District Fei. Delaying some time on the road will keep you waiting." Zhang Chen was still sitting in his seat. "It's okay, just come and take a look." Lu Yifei's heart moved slightly when he heard the voice. It didn't sound like the voice of an elderly person. Only then did she take a closer look at Zhang Chen. At this sight, Lu Yifei's heart beat faster than expected and his face turned red. The person in front of me looks to be only in his 20s, but he has good facial features and a special temperament that makes people unable to help but get close to him. To put it simply, he is handsome, with a net worth of at least 1 billion, and the security guard said he is also tall. He's really tall, rich and handsome, if only he had a better personality. That is simply the man that thousands of girls dream of. Lu Yifei made up his mind to chat for a while and develop the relationship as soon as possible. When she was in a daze, Zhang Chen was also observing her. She was regarded as a goddess. First of all, she had a beautiful appearance. Today, the other party came here without makeup, purely natural and ecological, and still flawless. Wearing a plain dress, there is no ambiguity in the highlighted areas, and her skin is as white as snow. Now I can score a 9 points like this, and put on light makeup. It is not an exaggeration to be called a goddess. A goddess cannot be blasphemed, but that is for ordinary people. He is thinking together now. He wants to conquer such amount, so that he can be more famous when he goes out. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Why are you blushing? Sit down and chat." "Ah." Lu Yifei was awakened and looked at Zhang Chen's half-smiling expression. His face became even redder. She hurriedly came to Zhang Chen's right side and sat down. The distance between them was very close. At this time, Sister Li also walked in. As soon as she saw this scene, she had a rough idea and knew that she was one of those redundant personnel. "Xiao Fei, I suddenly remembered that your contract is about to expire. I'll go take a look." Sister Li found a lame excuse and turned around to leave without waiting for a reply. Lu Yifei looked at this scene and said with some embarrassment, "Sister Li is like this, she always forgets things." "It's okay, I understand that." Zhang Chen nodded slightly. He said to Li Hu, who was standing guard outside, "Go outside and watch, and report if anyone comes. Please give me flowers." 0, okay. Li Hu understood in his heart and ran away without saying anything. After making this arrangement, they were the only 2 people left in the rest area. Lu Yifei pretended not to know. She smiled and said, "You all know my name, but I don't know yours." "My name is Zhang Chen. You seem to be very popular outside." Lu Yifei blinked. "No way, if 1 out of 10 people knows about me, I will be happy." "It seems a bit cool to call you Mr. Zhang. How about calling you Zhang Gao from now on?" Zhang Chen shrugged. "It doesn't matter, you can call me whatever you want. Since you have no objection, I will call you like this from now on, Brother Zhang," Lu Yifei said with a smile. The 2 of them were chatting in the rest area. Most of the time, Lu Yifei was talking, and Zhang Chen occasionally responded, and the relationship between the 2 seemed to have reversed. It gives the impression that Lu Yifei is taking the initiative to marry Zhang Chen. This is really the case. With her efforts, the relationship between the 2 is deepening. Lu Yifei suddenly said, "Brother Zhang, how did you become a gold member of the rich club? I heard that there are big people like you in there, with hands and eyes as bright as the sky. What a pity. I am struggling in the entertainment industry alone. I have been suppressed because I have no big people to take care of me. I have not yet come forward. I was almost killed last time. are you the reason behind Yifei? While speaking, Lu Yifei's eyes widened, revealing desire and admiration. More importantly, I am asking for care and shelter. Zhang Chen slowly took a sip of water. I have money, and the Magic City took the initiative to invite me to become their member. But give me a reason why I should protect you. How long have we met? What price can you pay? That's a bit direct. Zhang Chen shook his head slightly, stood up and said, I'll wait until you think about this. I'm staying at the Peninsula Hotel these 2 days. After hearing this, Lu Yifei's face turned slightly pale, and he felt unwilling to let such a good opportunity go. Instead of marrying a bad old man in the future, full of uncertainty, the young man in front of you is the best choice. She blurted out, Brother Zhang, I can give you anything. I haven't had a boyfriend so far, and this is still the first time. With that said, she caught up with Zhang Chen as he left and held his arm with one hand. Zhang Chen didn't push the other person away, tilted his head and asked, Have you thought about it? He doesn't mind if others come here for his strength, but if they choose him, they will put his mark on them. From now on, you must follow his rules and cannot disobey them. For example, when filming, you are not allowed to shoot emotional dramas, and the male protagonist cannot appear in the drama. Lu Yifei bit his lower lip and nodded heavily. Brother Zhang, I have thought about it and will follow you from now on. If possible, can I take Sister Xing with me? When I first entered the industry, she protected me so I didn't have unspoken rules. Zhang Chen said nonchalantly, No problem, as long as she is willing to come, I will not treat her badly, and I guarantee that no one will dare to use your hidden rules of 490 in the future. Because you are about to become my Zhang Chen's woman. Yeah. Lu Yifei didn't refute, but blushed and agreed in a low voice. The two walked out of the rest area and saw Li Hu looking from a distance, not allowing others to pass. Let's go. Zhang Chen greeted. The three of them headed for the exit. Li Hu walked in front and blocked Zhang Chen's body, but not Lu Yifei's. They came to the door, and the security guards standing guard on both sides widened their eyes. How is this going? Is there something wrong with their eyes that makes them look blurry? The goddess Lu Yifei, who has never had a boyfriend before, actually held the man's hand and looked like a little bird. This is unscientific, no news has come out before. However, as the three of them approached, the two security guards saw that Lu Yifei was holding Zhang Chen's hand. They suddenly felt that it was natural. Li Hu looked at the two security guards who were in a daze and frowned slightly. You two, we want to go out, please give way. The security guards quickly retreated to both sides. Oh, okay, please. When Zhang Chen passed by, the two people's attitudes became even more respectful. Boss, please walk slowly. The three of them had just walked a few steps when the waiter from the Peninsula Hotel trotted over. Boss, where do you want to go next? With the beauty in his arms, Zhang Chen thought for a while and said, Let's go back to the hotel first. It's been a hard day today. The waiter took the 500 yuan tip and said respectfully, No, it's my honor to serve you. With that said, he took the lead and walked to the front to lead the way, without even noticing Lu Yifei next to him. Otherwise, it would be even more shocking. In less than half an hour, Lu Yifei, the goddess in the eyes of thousands of people, was conquered. It is extremely difficult for others to meet in person, and if they exchange a few words, it is good luck. Lu Yifei said gently, Brother Zhang, you seem to be very popular. Those two security guards are usually very indifferent to others. 11. I remember the first time Sister Li came over, she was stopped by them for a long time. Zhang Chen responded casually. Well, it's probably because of his character. The three of them chatted and soon returned to the entrance of the Peninsula Hotel. Li Hu lowered his head and looked at the time. He said to Zhang Chen, Boss, it's almost time. I'll go bring the other Rolls-Royce back. You go ahead, Lu. Yes. Li Hu replied and waved to the waiter. The two of them did not enter the door, but walked towards a Rolls-Royce parked at the door. The car started and quickly disappeared into the night. Lu Yifei was curious. Brother Zhang, according to what the man just said, you bought 2 Rolls-Royces. Qin Hao nodded. Yes, I just arrived in Magic City not long ago, and there are limited license plates here. I bought 2 mobility scooters, so I don't have any worries about traveling. When I get back, I'll get rid of those 2 cars depending on the situation. This. Lu Yifei was speechless. She followed Zhang Chen blankly into the hotel and headed to the presidential suite on the top floor. That's not how people with billions of dollars play, right? That Rolls-Royce Phantom, she guessed correctly, was a luxury car worth 11 million, and the price was not low. 2 mobility scooters, 22 million. How many days will it take to dispose of them? The price of a first-hand car, excluding special models, will basically drop a lot. After entering the elevator, Lu Yifei held Zhang Chen's arm and said coquettishly, "Brother Zhang, this is a bit wasteful. You will lose millions. Speaking of which, how much is your net worth?" Zhang Chen pinched the other person's cheek. "Hey, it's not much, you can guess for yourself." Lu Yifei puffed up his cheeks and said, "I hate it, I know why I still ask you, how many billions does the field cost?" "Well, that's right or wrong." Zhang Chen let the other party shake his hand. She squeezed his hand into a burst of softness, enjoying the beauty of this moment. "It is correct to say that it will go up to more than 1 billion. To be precise, it will go up to tens of billions." Lu Yifei was about to use her trump card when the elevator door opened and she gave up. Looking at the facade of the presidential suite, her heartbeat couldn't stop racing. She knew what would be waiting for her in a while. But this is her own choice, and no one else can interfere. What she saw along the way and the conversations in the elevator strengthened her determination. This kind of big boss is rare to see in normal times, so here you can't even show your cowardice. Zhang Chen took out the access card and opened the door with a beep. He turned back and gestured. "Come in, let's talk about it. What are you filming on the set now?" "Last time I opened a company 3.1, which was specially used for filming. I am the biggest in it, so I can give full play to your talents." Lu Yifei walked into the room and took the initiative to help Zhang Chen close the door. "I'm filming a TV series, I'm playing a supporting role, and I'm about to get my lunch. It would be better if I could enter Brother Yang's territory. I'll tell Sister Li tomorrow and prepare to change jobs." Zhang Chen took off his coat and said with a smile, "You made a good decision, what is the bento?" Looking at Zhang Chen, who was getting closer, Lu Yifei explained with a blushing face, "The character I played is about to die, and my filming mission is over." While he was talking, the light switch in the room was turned on, and everything became dark. A night of silence. The next day, 9 o'clock. In the morning, a ray of sunlight shines through the gap in the door curtain. Zhang Chen happened to be facing that place. After being illuminated by the sun for a long time, he didn't feel sleepy at all. And Lu Yifei next to him is still sleeping soundly because of his good location. However, she also frowned slightly and bent her legs in her sleep. This situation was naturally attributed to Zhang Chen. He was overly excited last night and used a lot of force. As a result, Lu Yifei's memory was still fresh in his sleep. Zhang Chen thought for a while and asked the hotel waiter to bring breakfast to him instead of waking him up. As a customer of the presidential suite, he has this privilege. When Zhang Chen finished breakfast, Lu Wenfei didn't get up in a daze until it was almost 10 o'clock. Ah! She rubbed her eyes and just about to get up, she suddenly felt a pain all over her body. Zhang Chen thought something had happened, so he quickly ran over and asked, "What's wrong? Where do you feel uncomfortable? Do you need to see a doctor?" Lu Yifei pouted, shook his head, and explained softly, "It's nothing, it just hurts a lot." "It's all your fault. I told you not to come yesterday, but you still have to come up." When she talked about it later, her face turned slightly red, and she couldn't continue talking for a while. She slowly adapted to her body and reluctantly sat on the edge of the bed. Zhang Chen smiled very proudly. "Hey, who made your voice too loud? I'll try to restrain myself next time." "And next time?" Lu Yifei was speechless. After yesterday's scene, the relationship between the two has never been closer. She looked at the small desk and was about to get dressed, but found that there was nothing on it. Suddenly I remembered that when she came in last night, she stayed where she was. What happened again? Brother Zhang, can you buy women's clothes?" Lu Yifei was about to cry but said without tears, "You bad guy, the clothes I wore yesterday were torn to pieces by you, and now I have no ministers." Zhang Chen blinked and spread his hands. "I don't know how to do this. If you don't want to wear it, don't wear it. You will stay here today." It's okay to ask him to pay, but it's a bit difficult for him to pick things for others. It seems good to be like this. Anyway, apart from the two of them, outsiders can't come in or see here. A series of evil thoughts suddenly appeared in Zhang Chen's mind. Lu Yifei puffed up his cheeks. But I can't stay here forever, I have to go out. Brother Zhang, you did this, you have to take care of it now. Okay, wait. Zhang Chen responded and went out to walk around the hall. Not long after, he returned with a ball of cloth. At least they were connected together, and the smaller ones went into the trash can. Brother Zhang, you are bullying me. Zhang Chen felt a little embarrassed when he saw Lu Yifei looking like he was about to cry. Otherwise, you ask Sister Li to bring you a set of clothes. She should know your body shape, right? If not, you can buy it temporarily and I will reimburse her. Lu Yifei rubbed the corners of his eyes. That's okay. She found her cell phone and after sending a message to Sister Li, she carefully put away the blood-stained sheets. This is the trace she left behind, which has extraordinary significance. Zhang Chen ordered breakfast for Lu Yifei. Not long after she finished eating, Sister Li called her. Xiao Fei, I am choosing clothes for you. What price is suitable for you? Mr. Zhang only said that he would be reimbursed, but he didn't say how much. If the purchase was too expensive, I'm worried that he would be unhappy. Before Lu Yifei spoke, Zhang Chen took the phone and said directly, you don't have to worry about money. As long as you don't deliberately deceive people, I will reimburse you for any price. He can accept normal consumption of 80,000 or 100,000. But buying 8,000 and charging 80,000 is not acceptable. After Zhang Chen finished speaking, he returned the phone to Lu Yifei and let them chat on their own. There is a store near the Peninsula Hotel, and it was at the store that Sister Li made the call, 10 minutes after the phone conversation ended. Sister Li followed the information given by Lu Yifei and found the presidential suite. Zhang Chen heard the doorbell and collected the clothes, but did not let Sister Li in. Sister Li was not surprised, but she just sighed. Young people nowadays are so hot, they can even take off their clothes in just a short time. She could probably guess what was going on, but it was hard to tell. A few minutes later, Zhang Chen helped Lu Yifei out. She felt pain when she walked and didn't want to go out. But she was thinking about going to the crew to apply for resignation today so that she could follow Zhang Chen when he left Shanghai in 2 days. Sister Li stepped forward to support the other side and scolded. Xiao Fei, you are like this and you still plan to go out, isn't this nonsense? Resign and I will help you get it done. You go back and rest first. Mr. Zhang, what do you think? After this woman's first time, the most important thing is to get more rest. Zhang Chen didn't dwell too much on this kind of thing. According to what you said, it's okay to divorce yourself. Self-separation means no wages or liquidated damages must be paid. As for actors who are not well-known and popular, the liquidated damages are very low, so he doesn't look down on them. Seeing this, Lu Yifei didn't persist and just lay back to rest. Sister Li stretched out her hand in a gesture of invitation. Mr. Zhang, you go first, you are the best, you can take down Xiao Fei so quickly. There used to be men who coveted Xiao Fei, but she didn't even like her, so I blocked her away. Zhang Chen narrowed his eyes and nodded with a smile. He felt that this woman had something to say. Did he forget something? When the two walked into the elevator, Zhang Chen suddenly remembered that the other party had not reimbursed the money for clothes. By the way, give me your bank account number. How much did the clothes you just bought for Yifei cost? Sister Li was thinking about something and subconsciously replied, 23,000 in total. Zhang Chen immediately transferred the money to the other party. Sister Li had been wanting to say something, but she hesitated and refused to go in. Until they were about to separate in the hotel lobby, Sister Li asked, Mr. Zhang, I'm going to resign and find another job. It's up to you whether I accept it or not. Zhang Chen turned his head and glanced, then threw a professional eye. Character: Li Xin. Gender: female. Suitable occupation: broker. Career potential: 4.5 stars, 5 stars is full star. Evaluation: he has many years of experience as a broker and has a unique vision. He can be recruited as an employee. Agent potential is 4.5 stars. This kind of person is just right for the performing arts company he runs. Although the entertainment company has an element of fun, it still has to show off its tricks. You're good. After resigning, come with Yifei. I'll tell you the location. After Zhang Chen finished speaking, he asked Li Hu to drive to the Regal Club. Behind her, Li Xin breathed out. She was really worried about looking down on her just now because she was older now. With nothing to worry about, she quickly went to the crew to prepare for her resignation. The next day, 9 o'clock. In the morning, a ray of sunlight shines through the gap in the door curtain. Zhang Chen happened to be facing that place. After being illuminated by the sun for a long time, he didn't feel sleepy at all. And Lu Yifei next to him is still sleeping soundly because of his good location. However, she also frowned slightly and bent her legs in her sleep. This situation was naturally attributed to Zhang Chen. He was overly excited last night and used a lot of force. As a result, Lu Yifei's memory was still fresh in his sleep. Zhang Chen thought for a while and asked the hotel waiter to bring breakfast to him instead of waking him up. As a customer of the presidential suite, he has this privilege. When Zhang Chen finished breakfast, Lu Wenfei didn't get up in a daze until it was almost 10 o'clock. Ah! She rubbed her eyes and just about to get up, she suddenly felt a pain all over her body. Zhang Chen thought something had happened, so he quickly ran over and asked, "What's wrong? Where do you feel uncomfortable? Do you need to see a doctor?" Lu Yifei pouted, shook his head, and explained softly, "It's nothing, it just hurts a lot." "It's all your fault. I told you not to come yesterday, but you still have to come up." When she talked about it later, her face turned slightly red, and she couldn't continue talking for a while. She slowly adapted to her body and reluctantly sat on the edge of the bed. Zhang Chen smiled very proudly. "Hey, who made your voice too loud? I'll try to restrain myself next time." And next time? Lu Yifei was speechless. After yesterday's scene, the relationship between the two has never been closer. She looked at the small desk and was about to get dressed, but found that there was nothing on it. Suddenly I remembered that when she came in last night, she stayed where she was. What happened again? Brother Zhang, can you buy women's clothes? Lu Yifei was about to cry but said without tears, "You bad guy, the clothes I wore yesterday were torn to pieces by you, and now I have no ministers." Zhang Chen blinked his eyes and spread his hands. "I don't know how to do this. If you don't want to wear it, don't wear it. You will stay here today." It's okay to ask him to pay, but it's a bit difficult for him to pick things for others. It seems good to be like this. Anyway, apart from the two of them, outsiders can't come in or see here. A series of evil thoughts suddenly appeared in Zhang Chen's mind. Lu Yifei puffed up his cheeks. "But I can't stay here forever, I have to go out." "Brother Zhang, you did this, you have to take care of it now." Okay, wait." Zhang Chen responded and went out to walk around the hall. Not long after, he returned with a ball of cloth. At least they were connected together, and the smaller ones went into the trash can. "Brother Zhang, you are bullying me." Zhang Chen felt a little embarrassed when he saw Lu Yifei looking like he was about to cry. "Otherwise, you ask Sister Li to bring you a set of clothes. She should know your body shape, right? If not, you can buy it temporarily and I will reimburse her." Lu Yifei rubbed the corners of his eyes. "That's okay." She found her cell phone and after sending a message to Sister Li, she carefully put away the blood-stained sheets. This is the trace she left behind, which has extraordinary significance. Zhang Chen ordered breakfast for Lu Yifei. Not long after she finished eating, Sister Li called her. "Xiao Fei, I am choosing clothes for you. What price is suitable for you?" Mr. Zhang only said that he would be reimbursed, but he didn't say how much. If the purchase was too expensive, I'm worried that he would be unhappy. Before Lu Yifei spoke, Zhang Chen took the phone and said directly, "You don't have to worry about money. As long as you don't deliberately deceive people, I will reimburse you for any price." He can accept normal consumption of 80,000 or 100,000, but buying 8,000 and charging 80,000 is not acceptable. After Zhang Chen finished speaking, he returned the phone to Lu Yifei and let them chat on their own. There is a store near the Peninsula Hotel, and it was at the store that Sister Li made the call, 10 minutes after the phone conversation ended. Sister Li followed the information given by Lu Yifei and found the presidential suite. Zhang Chen heard the doorbell and collected the clothes, but did not let Sister Li in. Sister Li was not surprised, but she just sighed. Young people nowadays are so hot, they can even take off their clothes in just a short time. She could probably guess what was going on, but it was hard to tell. A few minutes later, Zhang Chen helped Lu Yifei out. She felt pain when she walked and didn't want to go out. But she was thinking about going to the crew to apply for resignation today so that she could follow Zhang Chen when he left Shanghai in 2 days. Sister Li stepped forward to support the other side and scolded. Xiao Fei, you are like this and you still plan to go out. Isn't this nonsense? Resign and I will help you get it done. You go back and rest first. Mr. Zhang, what do you think? After this woman's first time, the most important thing is to get more rest. Zhang Chen didn't dwell too much on this kind of thing. According to what you said, it's okay to divorce yourself. Self-separation means no wages or liquidated damages must be paid. As for actors who are not well-known and popular, the liquidated damages are very low, so he doesn't look down on them. Seeing this, Lu Yifei didn't persist and just lay back to rest. Sister Li stretched out her hand in a gesture of invitation. Mr. Zhang, you go first, you are the best, you can take down Xiao Fei so quickly. There used to be men who coveted Xiao Fei, but she didn't even like her, so I blocked him away. Zhang Chen narrowed his eyes and nodded with a smile. He felt that this woman had something to say. Did he forget something? When the two walked into the elevator, Zhang Chen suddenly remembered that the other party had not yet reimbursed the money for the clothes. By the way, give me your bank account number. How much did the clothes you just bought for Yifei cost? Sister Li was thinking about something and subconsciously replied, 23,000 in total. Zhang Chen immediately transferred the money to the other party. Sister Li had been wanting to say something, but she hesitated and refused to go in. Until they were about to separate in the hotel lobby, Sister Li asked, Mr. Zhang, I'm going to resign and find another job right now. Okay, it's up to you to accept it or not. Zhang Chen turned his head and glanced, then threw a professional eye. Character: Li Xin. Gender: female. Suitable occupation: broker. Career potential: 4.5 stars, 5 stars is full star. Evaluation: he has many years of experience as a broker and has a unique vision. He can be recruited as an employee. Agent potential is 4.5 stars. This kind of person is just right for the performing arts company he runs. Although the entertainment company has an element of fun, it still has to show off its tricks. You're good. After resigning, come with Yifei. I'll tell you the location. After Zhang Chen finished speaking, he asked Li Hu to drive to the Regal Club. Behind her, Li Xin breathed out. She was really worried about looking down on her just now because she was older now. With nothing to worry about, she quickly went to the crew to prepare for her resignation. Half an hour later, in the center of the city, in front of a building, Li Hu parked his Rolls-Royce next to it. Xiaoyu, who had been waiting at the door for a long time, saw this and ran over quickly. Mr. Zhang, welcome back. Yeah, Zhang Chen nodded, having already read it yesterday. When I came here today, I still felt amazing. He will build such a building in Yanjing Center in the future. No matter what you do in that building, it can't be any worse than others. Li Hu didn't have the authority, so he couldn't blend in with the people inside when he went in, so he arranged to rest nearby. Zhang Chen came again, this time using his own membership card. The strong man at the gate briefly checked and then let him go. After you become more familiar with it, you can enter by swiping your face, eliminating this detection step. Xiaoyu, where are there more people now? It's too boring to be alone. Find something to kill time. Mr. Zhang, the small bar on the top floor is more crowded. There will be an offline party the day after tomorrow, and everyone will come and hang out. Zhang Chen raised his head and said, let's go take a look. Soon, the two took the elevator to the 3000th floor. Soothing music was playing in the bar at this time, like a clear bar. Yesterday, Zhang Chen saw Li Shang and 3 others, sitting in a booth chatting in 453. They seemed to be very busy these days. Seeing an acquaintance coming over, Feng Jia waved across the table. Brother Zhang, come here. Zhang Chen nodded and walked over. Brother Ma, I met you here again. I thought you weren't here and you didn't have to do anything? Li Shang smiled and said, of course we have to do things, we are very busy. But we will be here these days, mainly to wait for someone, hee. Zhang Chen looked at the smiles of several people. Men? Li Shang's face darkened, and he said angrily, you are waiting for a man, of course a woman, or a beautiful woman. Yes. Yi Xing said. Otherwise, the 3 of us will go out together? Okay then. Zhang Chen spread his hands and sat on the other side. He cursed in his heart, who made you laugh so strangely, and the expressions on your faces had to make him think more. Li Shang and the others waited for a long time, but saw Zhang Chen not asking a word, just drinking drinks. Brother Zhang, aren't you curious? Who are we waiting for when the three of us go out and put down what we are doing? Zhang Chen nodded perfunctorily. I'm curious, I'm not waiting for you to say it. Feng Jia was choked and his curiosity was strangled. You are amazing. He couldn't help but said, what we are waiting for is the daughter of the club's deputy minister, who comes to the club every time she holds an event. In the next few days, she will come here to take a look. A group of perverts will come here soon, and none of the old men will come. If you don't come today, you will definitely come tomorrow. Zhang Chen raised his hand to stop. Stop, you will inherit tens of billions of assets in the future. Why are you staring at a girl? You still know it so clearly and want to plot evil? As the heir to a tens of billions group, wanting a beautiful girl is not just a matter of words? Even if the other party is the daughter of the deputy director of the club, there is no need to stare at her, which really makes him puzzled. Aren't you afraid that the other party's elders will intervene? Who dares to plot evil against her? This is the normal way to understand. Li Shang sighed. He continued. Brother Zhang, you don't know this when you first joined. This is a secret that everyone in the club knows. Yi Xing and Feng Jia also explained and encouraged Zhang Chen to join in. To put it simply, as long as Li Shang marries Nangong Ru, the daughter of the club's deputy minister, his family assets will directly double. It's his family assets, not him personally. His family assets are estimated to be guaranteed at 100 billion. Brother Zhang, do you think you are tempted? Zhang Chen asked back. Well, I said I'm not tempted, you three must not believe it, right? The three of them nodded. No one could believe this. In today's society, who wouldn't want to marry a beautiful woman and bring home hundreds of billions of dollars? Even the rich, CAD, second generation like them are tempted and want to get it. If Nangong Ru hadn't been young, I'd be sure that some old men would go out to compete. Then I'm tempted too. Zhang Chen admitted immediately. He didn't bother to explain to these people that he was still making money every day while lying down. 100 billion can only be considered a small goal. He would not marry a woman for a mere small goal. Of course, if the other party is a beautiful woman, you won't suffer any loss if you marry her back. Li Shang laughed and said, hey, I knew Brother Zhang was the same as us. Let's discuss it. When Chen Yuhao and the others arrive, we have to find a way to deal with them. Whoever Nangong Ru marries cannot go to their side. It's simply intolerable. Zhang Chen had a strange face. Deal with Chen Yuhao? He will come over later? Chen Yuhao's father had a good relationship with him before, but he turned around and whipped his son, which felt a little bad. Of course, Chen Yuhao is Chen Shikong's son, and he has always been at odds with us. Brother Zhang, don't you want to be friends with him? Seeing that Zhang Chen's tone was wrong, Li Shang asked suspiciously. Zhang Chen waved his hand. That's not true. Chen Yuhao and I have some disagreements, but we became friends with his father after coming here. I had a drink with Chen Shikong, and now I turn to deal with his son. It's a bit like that. Li Shang breathed a sigh of relief. That's good, Brother Zhang, you are worrying too much. We are dealing with Chen Yuhao now because Nangong Ru, the previous generation, will not care about the affairs between young people, otherwise it will not be the rule. If you teach Chen Yuhao a lesson, it will not affect the relationship with Chen Shikong. Feng Jia and Yi Xing also nodded in support. They didn't kill or maim anyone. It was all a trivial matter. Like Jack Ma and Xiao Ma Zhe, their companies have business competition, but they sit next to each other and don't yell at each other. Zhang Chen thoughtfully said, that seems to make sense. After Chen Shikong had a drink with him, he must have known about his affair with his son. They are all in the same group, but the other party has not come to the door yet, which means that they are tacitly fighting and have no intention of intervening. To be able to become a top rich man, one's own magnanimity is indeed higher than that of ordinary people. Li Shang urged. Brother Zhang, that's what we've decided. We'll see what happens. Okay. Zhang Chen agreed casually. The four of them talked about some recent news in Magic City and the dynamics in the circle. Who bought a new yacht? Who changed a car? But the news about Nangong Ru was the most talked about. Where she went to play, what her mood was like, and what she paid attention to. Zhang Chen felt sleepy and speechless after listening to it, and all he said was nonsense. At this moment, there was a noise outside the bar, and four young people came in talking and laughing. Li Shang and the others looked towards the door and met the eyes of the four people who came in. Is it you? Why are you here too? Among the 4 young people who just came in, one of them seemed to have seen a ghost. His voice changed and his face became distorted. The other 3 people frowned slightly when they saw this. Yuhao. What's going on? Please calm down and tell me slowly. Li Shang and the others have another person on their side. They were on par with us originally, but they will be even more difficult to deal with in the future. If you don't conflict with them for the time being, go over there. Several people discussed and walked far away from Zhang Chen and the others, with 3 tables in between. Chen Yuhao's mood gradually stabilized at this time, but the resentment on his face could not be concealed. His usual demeanor has long been thrown away somewhere. Li Shang glanced over there, chuckled and said, Brother Zhang, you and that Chen Yuhao are having a big feud. I look at his expression and want to eat you. Yes, I remember the last time I failed him, his face was gloomy. Feng Jia and the others were discussing with smiles and did not take what happened just now to heart. What can I do about this? Zhang Chen spread his hands. I just hit him casually in business. That person is too narrow-minded and is destined to never become a great person. Don't worry about him. Let's play with ourselves. Yi Xing shook his head, and then asked. You are a gold member, and your personal net worth is billions. If you hit him casually, it will be an unbearable burden for Chen Yuhao. Please tell me quickly. 1. I'm also curious and want answers. Unable to resist the 3 people's entreaties, Zhang Chen simply explained the incident of taking over a house in Nanchang. On the other side, Chen Yuhao was also explaining to his 3 companions why he lost control of his emotions and his face was twisted when he came in. After listening, the 3 of them were speechless for a long time. Although Chen Yuhao used some techniques to guide when explaining, they were not fools. One of them asked, and you fell for it like that? But that's not right. According to what you said, Zhang Chen's assets will not exceed 1 billion. He has no significant background. Then Li Shang and his family have tens of billions of assets, how can they come together? Getting acquainted and talking are all on the same level. Chen Yuhao subconsciously disparaged. I didn't think too much at the time, so I fell into his trap. As for meeting Li Shang and the others, I must have been lucky. Those 4 people are probably here because of Nangong Ru. What should we do next? The topic was changed, and the other 3 people didn't care about the grievances between Chen Yuhao and Zhang Chen. It had nothing to do with them. When the time comes, we can deal with Li Shang and others together. Chen Yuhao's small circle is vaguely headed by one of the red-haired young men. He said helplessly. What else can we do now? Let's wait and deal with the situation until Nangong Min appears. The purpose of several people coming here is very simple, to pursue Nangong Ru. The grudge with Li Shang can be put aside for the time being. If Chen Yuhao wants to take revenge on Zhang Chen, he can only go alone. The small bar on the 30th floor of the club building fell silent. Only the gentle music was still ringing in my ears. Zhang Chen suddenly remembered something and asked, Li Shang, you and Chen Yuhao have been against several people, so you should know about him. His father has a membership card and can enter the club. How can he also come in? Feng Jia smiled. That guy couldn't use his card, so he applied for an appraisal. Because of his relationship with me, I finally got the lowest bronze membership card and almost couldn't get in. Bronze member? Zhang Chen curled his lips in disdain. If the other party dared to provoke him, they would have to give him a lesson. It's been so long, why hasn't Nangong Ru come yet? Is your news false? Li Shang rolled his eyes. It's just these days, if we don't come we will be wasting time. At this moment, a man and a woman walked in from the door. They looked around and walked straight towards Zhang Chen. When Li Shang saw the 2 of them, his eyes lit up and he stood up and smiled. Brother Mu Yan, and Sister Zhao, we haven't seen each other for a long time, come and sit down. Although he welcomed the 2 of them, his eyes were fixed on the woman. He also deliberately made an empty seat, and the man named Mu Yan looked at this scene, his eyes burning. He shouted directly and asked, Li Shang, are you still plotting against my sister? Do you want us to go to the ring and challenge each other sometime? The woman chuckled lightly and tried to persuade her, okay, brother, we are all friends. Li Shang is not interesting, right? If you continue to act nonsense, I will tell Grandpa when you get back. Li Shang looked at Zhao Muyan and said angrily, yes, Sister Zhao is sensible. Please give me flowers. Feng Jia and Yi Xing looked at this scene and laughed secretly. Yi Xing came to Zhang Chen and introduced. These two are brothers and sisters, Zhao Muyan and Zhao Linger, from the Zhao family in the Demon City. Li Shang had a crush on Zhao Linger before, and was challenged by Li Muyan in the ring. He taught him a lesson. Later, when we all became friends, he would goad Zhao Muyan when they met. But if you want to catch up with Linger, you will probably have no hope in this life. A duel in the arena? Zhang Chen asked in confusion. Is it the kind of duel that I understand? Everyone else heard the two chatting. Li Shang's face turned dark. It is always unpleasant to have dark history told to someone's face. He no longer received Zhao Linger and sat aside angrily. 000. Only then did the Zhao Muyan brothers and sisters notice that Zhang Chen was not their previous friends, but appeared for the first time. Zhao Linger looked at it carefully for a while, her eyes lit up, and she sat down not far from Zhang Chen. After all, handsome guys stand out at any time and are more attractive to beautiful women. Li Muyan doesn't judge people by their appearance, he has more thoughts. Being able to be with Li Shang and the others means that he has enough strength and status. He smiled and explained, "This is my first time meeting this friend. Of course, this is a one-on-one duel in the ring, and the punches are in place. It's a pity that Li Shang is not good at academics. He has been taught a lot by me a few times, right, Brother Li?" Li Shang cursed quietly and did not answer. Instead, he poured a glass of wine and drank it slowly. "Brother Zhao is better then. My name is Zhang Chen." Zhang Chen smiled and complimented him, shook hands with the other person, and considered him acquainted. Suddenly, Zhao Linger also stretched out his hand. "Zhang Chen, right? My name is Zhao Linger. We can get to know each other better in the future." The other party's hand had already been stretched out in front of him, and Zhang Chen subconsciously held it. "Hello." The distance between the two was very close at this time, and he could see clearly that Zhao Linger was wearing light makeup and her cheeks were a little red. It also looks very beautiful and can be scored as a 9. Zhao Linger was also looking at Zhang Chen from a close distance. When Feng Jia and Yi Xing saw this, they looked at each other and laughed at each other. Hee. One is because of what Zhao Linger said, and the other is that the two parties shook hands for a long time, and no one had the intention to let go. Zhao Muyan covered his mouth and coughed loudly. Cough cough. 2 coughs sounded behind him, and Zhao Linger quickly pulled her hand away. This time I sat directly next to Zhang Chen. When Zhao Muyan saw this, he had no other choice but to let his sister go. The booths are not small, more than enough to seat 6 people, but the empty areas are very empty and the crowded areas are very crowded. Zhao Linger and Zhang Chen were next to each other. If a beautiful woman sat next to her, Zhang Chen would naturally not take the initiative to push her away. Opposite the two of them, Zhao Muyan put a hand on Li Shang's shoulder and chatted, looking at his sister from time to time. Feng Jia and Yi Xing were separated in the middle, becoming a buffer zone. Zhao Muyan suddenly asked, "Brother Zhang, I don't think you are from Shanghai. Are you here for Nangongru?" "No," Zhang Chen shook his head slightly. "I was originally invited to attend an offline party here. I have been getting close to Brother Li, 943, these days. I just found out about Nangongru today. I haven't met her yet." As for whether he was tempted or not, he didn't bother to explain. Most people would have preconceived ideas. "I was invited to come to the party. It seems that Brother Zhang is very powerful. The club rarely invites you." Li Shang responded first. "That's natural. Zhang Chen relied on his own assets to become a gold member. There is 10 times the gap between me and him. Brother Zhao, how do you compare?" Zhao Muyan looked stagnant, in disbelief. Could he become a gold member by himself? If his company did not rely on family strength, it would be difficult to survive. Even so, his company's current value is only about 50 million. For a moment, Zhao Muyan didn't know how to reply. Zhao Linger's eyes lit up and she looked at Zhang Chen more frequently. "He is handsome, can make money, and has abilities, but I don't know what his personality is like, if possible." Seeing Zhao Muyan's embarrassed expression, Zhang Chen felt a little embarrassed, although it was not his intention. But this was the first time we met, and he had always been very polite to him. It was not good to be hit like this continuously. "Well, Brother Mu Yan, I have achieved this result because of the support of my subordinates, luck and opportunities." Zhang Chen still wanted to say a few words of comfort, but he didn't know how to start. On the contrary, Zhao Muyan walked out on his own. "Brother Zhang, if you don't say this, it's not embarrassing for you." The main thing is that this kid Li Shang is deliberately irritating me. While he admitted it frankly, he also used evil tricks on Li Shang and wanted to make a fight. The two played around for a while, then quickly stopped and started discussing business. Yi Xing asked directly. Sister Linger and Nangong Ru are friends. Where has she been recently? Is there any news? Yeah, I've been hanging around for 3 to 5 days, and the day after tomorrow is an offline party, so I don't have much time. Feng Jia's eyes flickered on Zhao Linger and Zhao Muyan. Zhao Linger rolled her eyes. You people, always asking for news about Ruer through me, are too utilitarian, and now even I don't know. When she wants to give you a chance, she will show up naturally, and I will tell you. However, Ruer has returned to the Magic City, that's for sure. Zhao Muyan nodded. My sister is right, she doesn't know the extra information. Otherwise, I would have gone by myself a long time ago and would not have tried my luck here. The 5 of them all participated in the discussion more or less, with Zhao Linger smiling and making suggestions. But no one can see that all this effort is in vain. Time gradually passed, and the 4 people on Chen Yuhao's side couldn't wait any longer, and because the company had something to do, they decided to come tomorrow. If you really can't marry Nangong Ru, it will be like a missed opportunity. When Chen Yuhao left, he kept looking at Zhang Chen and saw him and Zhao Linger sitting very close together. Recalling what happened in Nansheng, the more I thought about it, the more angry I became. After passing by the booth here, he said angrily, Zhang Chen, just wait for me, this is the Magic City, you have something to look at. You're really lucky that you found a chance to sneak into the club. Zhang Chen glanced at him and said slowly, keep your mouth clean. Your father, Chen Shikong, and I are brothers. Logically speaking, you should call me uncle. No big or small, just a bronze member, you still want to look good to me? Chen Yuhao's face turned red with anger. You're talking nonsense, how can my father be brothers to a minor character like you? That's right. You are only a silver member at most, so what's the big deal? While the two were arguing, Chen Yuhao and his 3 friends naturally stopped. The two sides vaguely intend to confront each other, because the relationship is usually not harmonious. Li Shang rolled his eyes slightly and said with a smile, Brother Zhang, do you need to lie to you? He is indeed a brother to your father? Besides, Brother Zhang is also a gold member, can you compare? Yi Xing stood up directly. Brother Zhang is our friend, how do you want to make him look good? Tell me. Chen Yuhao's face turned from red to white very quickly. The other party has a good relationship with his father and is a gold member of the club. How is this possible? He didn't want to believe it, but reason told him that what Li Shang said was true. They were all in the same circle, and even if they disliked each other, they wouldn't deliberately lie to each other. It was really possible that his father would be on good terms with Zhang Chen. But why hasn't he received any news yet? Chen Yuhao's momentum suddenly dropped, and he began to blame his father in his heart. Faced with Yi Xing's inquiry, he was speechless and didn't know how to advance or retreat for a while. The red-haired man standing behind looked at this scene, frowned, and his evaluation of Chen Yuhao began to decrease. Why did I make friends with this guy before? His temperament and IQ were not even noticeable. Didn't you see that there were 6 people on the other side, and their identities were similar to them, or even a little more powerful? You have no brains to provoke the other party. He stepped forward and said, Chen Yuhao, please come here today and come back tomorrow. You are bronze, and others did not say anything wrong. After saying that, the red-haired man turned around and greeted the other 2 people. The steps had already been given to them, so they didn't follow. Then go against those 6 people alone. Being the only one left, Chen Yuhao became even more panicked. He glared at Zhang Chen fiercely. Not daring to say anything harsh, 2.5 hurriedly left the small bar. Yi Xing shrugged. Tisk, I thought he would be so strong and be raised with such a character. Zhang Chen said with a smile. I guess he is going to go home and file a complaint, but I don't know what the result will be. Also, thank you for your help in exporting. The bartender will open 3 bottles of your most expensive red wine first, so that Mile can be happy. This is a rich man's club, where the world's top wines are collected. Soon, a professional sober master came over with 3 bottles of Romane Conti, but he first told the price. 1 bottle, 1.98 million. The price is a lot too high, after all, the club also needs money to operate. Li Shang, Zhao Muyan and others looked over and asked, with these 3 bottles, will 6 million be gone? Some people have said this before when treating guests, but when they heard the price, they held it back. Zhang Chen knew what the sober master meant. If they are the second generation who rely on their parents to survive, they dare to open a bottle of red wine worth 6 million. In the end, their parents had to come forward to pay, which must have made them very angry. In addition to teaching his son a lesson, he may also make some gossip, which will be detrimental to the reputation of the wealthy club. Li Shang and the others did not look at them all the time, but their eyes glanced over from time to time. Zhao Linger even wanted to persuade her to drink some ordinary wine, just to express her gratitude. But she was stopped by her brother's eyes and did not say anything. Zhao Muyan wanted to see Zhang Chen's specific strength and personality, and Yi Xing and the others also had this idea in mind. The club's appraisal was far from what they saw with their own eyes. Unexpectedly, when Zhang Chen heard the price, he was a little surprised. The most expensive one is only 2 million? Then, he whispered in a low voice. I thought tens of millions would be worth a bronze membership. Forget it, let's open 3 bottles for now. Next time I'll treat Brother Yi and you guys to drink something better. We'll just make do with it today. Isn't it just half of what he earns if he takes a day off? The sober master was stunned for a moment, then quickly reacted and signaled to the bartender who followed. Before long, more than half a glass of red wine was poured into the 6 empty goblets. Sir, you can drink this wine slowly to let the flavor dissipate. There is still a bottle of wine that has not been opened. If you want to continue drinking, just call me. Wine that has been collected for many years has great staying power, and only those who have tasted it know how powerful it is. Seeing this, Zhang Chen nodded slightly. Thank you, keep drinking. I'll call you later. There are 10 million in this card, and the password is 6 zeros. As he said that, he handed over a bank card. The bartender took it respectfully and trotted towards the front desk, remembering the people present. The most important thing is the member who gave the bank card. He has been here for several years and this is the first time he has seen such a member. In the blink of an eye, he spent 6 million to treat guests to drinks. Few people in the rich club could match him. Watching the bartender leave and Zhang Chen giving his bank card, Yi Xing sighed a little and said, Brother Zhang, I am not as good as you. Instead, I will treat you. What kind of wine do you want to drink? Drink. Don't tell me that you spent 6 million for a treat. I'm really impressed. Feng Jia struck back. Don't talk about that. Even if you were willing to treat me, can you come up with 6 million yuan at a time? Of course I can. Just squeeze in a bit, but you? Zhao Linger puffed up her cheeks. Okay, don't make any noise. This is my first time drinking this $1 million red wine. Thank you, Brother Zhang, hee. Even Zhao Muyan said. Well, what, this time we are really taking advantage of you, Brother Zhang, and we can't do it ourselves. You two didn't even say thank you, you just kept saying it? The power of the 2 brothers and sisters was huge. Yi Xing and Feng Jia smiled and stopped arguing. They all turned to look at Zhang Chen, ready to thank him. Everyone's attitude changed quietly, if they had previously put themselves on the same level as Zhang Chen. Now, I already think I'm a step below, but of course I won't say it openly. If they inherit the family property in the future, their mentality may change again and they can communicate as people of the same level again. Zhao Linger was the first to raise his glass. Thank you Brother Zhang for inviting us, let me have a taste of it. Yi Xing and the others subconsciously stood up and raised their glasses. Linger is right. I was distracted just now. Zhang Chen couldn't help but feel a little happy when the 4 rich second generation admitted to his face that they were inferior to him. He waved his hand. This is as it should be. There is no need to thank you, and it doesn't cost much, it won't take long to fully earn it back. The 6 of them clinked their glasses together and started drinking. The bartender not far away waited until they were almost done drinking before he stepped forward and said, Boss, the payment has been taken care of for you. If you haven't finished drinking this wine, the club also provides free storage, so you can drink it directly next time you come over. Put your bank card away. If you need anything, call me. I will be at your service at any time. Yes. Zhang Chen took the bank card, waved his hand and said, You go down first, I understand. Zhao Muyan looked down at the time and shook his head with regret. It's almost evening, and Nangong Ru won't be here today. It seems that tomorrow will be the highlight. Li Shang smiled and said, That's just right. Let's continue drinking, we will go back happily. He teamed up with Feng Jia in a tacit understanding, and together with Yi Xing, he tried to find a way to give Zhao Linger a drink and find something to do for Zhao Muyan. Zhao Mu naturally couldn't ignore it, so he pulled Zhang Chen and started a 3-on-3 drinking contest. After drinking a few large glasses, the stamina of the red wine slowly rose. The more drunk people get, the more excited they become. Zhang Chen threw his bank card to the bartender for the second time. 2 more bottles of red wine were ordered. When the 4th bottle of red wine was finished, all 6 of them were quite drunk. Li Shangzheng grabbed Zhao Muyan and shouted loudly, "You are such a sister-in-law. Didn't I use some tricks to pursue your sister? You actually rely on your martial arts skills to be friendly with me and find excuses to fix me. This is unreasonable. Come on, keep drinking, you can't drink anymore." As he spoke, Li Shang leaned back, unable to hold himself up any longer. Zhao Muyan, who was caught and beaten by him, was already half asleep, otherwise he would have jumped up earlier. Among the 6 people, Zhao Linger was the only one who had a good drinking capacity. At least she was still organized and knew what to say and what not to say, but it was getting close. As for Li Shang's words, she had already written them down, and was ready to tell her brother to go and make a good repair. Zhang Chen also had a shadow in front of his eyes, and he shook his head. "Linger, should we leave now and go back? 2 of you have already appeared, what time is it now?" Zhao Linger sat down and said confusedly, "How'd I know, it's very late." As she spoke, she naturally leaned against Zhang Chen, holding hands. The bartender, who had not yet gotten off work, saw this situation and skillfully picked up his mobile phone and started making calls. At the same time, put away another unopened bottle of red wine and store it carefully. Not long after, Zhang Chen's exclusive driver Xiaoyu was the first to come over. After she asked the bartender about the situation, she left with Zhang Chen. As for the other 5 people, she was not considering it. Less than 10 minutes after she left, 4 more people who looked like housekeepers came up. They shook their heads one after another and took away their young master and young lady. As soon as Xiaoyu left the rich club, Li Hu saw his boss being helped out and rushed up. "Mr. Zhang drank a lot with several rich young people and needs a good rest." Xiaoyu recognized Li Hu and explained softly. "I know, give it to me." Li Hu took out the car key and pressed it a few times, put Zhang Chen in the backseat of the Rolls-Royce, and drove to the Peninsula Hotel. At the Peninsula Hotel, outside the presidential suite, Li Hu watched Lu Yifei help Zhang Chen in. In order to avoid suspicion, he did not stay and hurriedly left and returned to his room. Lu Yifei was miserable alone. She wanted Zhang Chen to drink some sobering tea, but where could Zhang Chen drink it now? "I want to go to sleep, but my body is not well nourished and I don't have much strength, so I can't run." In the end, Zhang Chen went back to the room by himself, changed into a comfortable position, and fell asleep directly. Lu Yifei prepared the raw materials for sobering tea and was busy until midnight before going to bed. At noon the next day, Zhang Chen frowned and opened his eyes and found that he was already lying on the bed. He was trying to recall what happened yesterday, as if he was too happy to drink. The 6 of them drank 4 bottles of red wine worth 2 million. He drank a lot of beer and rice wine, and then Ji Pu told Zhao Muyan the truth. Zhang Chen still wanted to think about it, but his head hurt again. "Damn it, I'll definitely drink less in the future, I still have the energy." When he did this, Lu Yifei, who was lying on the side, was also woken up. She explained. "Brother Zhang, you drank a lot last night. A big man sent you here, are you okay? I'll get you some sobering tea, and I'll order some porridge, please wait a moment." With that said, Lu Yifei got out of bed and walked carefully to the dining table outside. "Okay." Zhang Chen muttered in confusion. "A big man sent me back, Zhao Muyan? That's not right." Zhao Muyan was the first to lie down. Being tall doesn't necessarily mean you are good at drinking. Unable to figure it out, Zhang Chen shook his head and ignored these matters. The Peninsula Hotel acted very quickly. After the call was made, within 5 minutes, all the food ordered was delivered. "Yifei, how's your resignation going?" Zhang Chen slowly sipped the rice porridge as he spoke. "It's okay. Sister Li is very efficient, she also resigned and is now handing over some things." While Lu Yifei was talking, Zhang Chen's cell phone on the table rang. When he opened it, He saw that Ji Pu was asking questions with a mournful expression. Brother Zhang, did I say anything outrageous yesterday? As soon as I got up at noon, Zhao Muyan said he wanted to challenge me. It's still that kind of continuous challenge and can't admit defeat. Brother Zhang, please speak quickly. Zhang Chen raised his eyebrows when he saw the news. He remembered a little bit, but not very clearly. He immediately comforted him. Anyway, I have done a lot of extraordinary things, so this is not the least of them. I probably confessed my feelings yesterday. After the news passed, the other party was silent for a long time. 2 hours later, Li Shang responded. I knew my mouth should be in a tight spot. Damn it, Zhao Muyan is so narrow-minded, isn't he just complaining about it? Brother Zhang, why don't you come over and help me persuade him? I estimate that he will really come soon. Zhang Chen rolled his eyes. He was not involved in the relationship with these rich and young people. He just needed to maintain the current situation. Tomorrow is the offline party of the rich club, and he doesn't want to go anywhere today. What makes him proud is that after those people called him Brother Zhang yesterday, they still said the same thing today when they woke up. This is a bit valuable. If you are drunk, you will call me brother, but if you are sober, you will not call me brother. That's obviously a little lower. Zhang Chen stayed in the hotel room. When he got excited and wanted to exercise, he started playing landlord with Lu Yifei. When Lu Yifei was walking around, if he didn't look carefully, he wouldn't have noticed anything unusual. My body is almost in good shape, and some exercise is no longer a problem. But this time, it can be regarded as a recurrence of old injuries, and it is close to the state of the first day. Ahem, Yi Fei, please rest more. I'll go outside to see the scenery and prepare for tomorrow's party. Zhang Chen was embarrassed to stay longer and found an excuse to leave the presidential suite. After coming out of the elevator, the more I thought about it, the more uncomfortable I felt. I couldn't help but shake my head and sighed. This woman is really difficult to deal with. When you are injured, you need to recuperate. After recuperation, you will be soft and delicate. You can't stand the tossing, and you will get injured after being tossed. The elevator next to her just opened, and a beautiful woman walked out. When she heard this, she felt angry in her heart. She said directly, if men can't do it, they just find excuses to say it's difficult for women. You men, huh? I don't have much ability, but I am very good at shirking responsibility. Zhang Chen turned around subconsciously. Excuse me, are you talking to me? The beauty wrapped her arms around her and said slowly, who else is there besides you? Seeing the other party's arrogant look, Zhang Chen became angry, ignored the other party's appearance, and started to insult him. You are so crazy about dynamite. I sighed and you are just making noise here and saying that I can't do it. Come back with me and let you see if you can do it. When the time comes, you can do it anywhere, just wait and tell me no. After being scolded like this, the beauty was immediately stunned. This was the first time since she was a child that a man had spoken to her so harshly. Who was not trying to please her before? Her voice was almost incoherent. You dared to scold me? Do you know who I am? Seeing that the other party dared to threaten him, Zhang Chen said disdainfully. I don't care who you are and whether it has anything to do with me. What's the matter with you being good-looking? You're much prettier than you. There's something wrong with that. The beauty's face darkened. Aren't you afraid of offending all the second-generation rich people in the city? If they unite, they will suffer the consequences if you don't. As long as I say something, unless you have a monstrous background, you will take a look. These confident words also have a powerful tone. Zhang Chen's heart moved, and he vaguely guessed who the other party was. After combining what she said, they were almost inseparable. But so what, he is not afraid of speaking out, and the threat from the other party is even more childish. I'm worried about this. Your name is Nangong Ru. Are the second generations of Magic City as good as the first generation? Nangong Ru's expression suddenly changed. She looked carefully at the man in front of her and found that she didn't recognize him at all, but he was very handsome. Are you from the club too? What's your name? Zhang Chen glanced sideways, turned around and walked outside. He came out to relax and unexpectedly encountered such a thing. Nangong Ru was confused again. Since the other party knew her name, he should also know the benefits of marrying her. Why did he have such an attitude? Even if he didn't want to please her, he actually didn't bother to talk to her and didn't even answer her questions. Damn it, I'm going to ask. Nangong Ru gritted her teeth and chased after him in the direction. The other party came after her with an angry face. When Zhang Chen saw it, he felt a little helpless. After he pointed out the other party's identity, he couldn't touch her. Li Hu, please block that woman from behind. I'll go out and play around and come back to buy some. After Nangong Ru came out, she saw a big man holding her back with open hands, and Zhang Chen's figure shook twice and disappeared into the darkness. She glared at Li Hu and said, "Damn it, I can't help him sleep outside today." Zhang Chen was naturally unclear about his behavior today. It stimulated Nangong Ru's young lady's heart. Zhang Chen wandered outside for a long time, feeling very satisfied. Just when he was about to go back, his exclusive driver Xiaoyu informed him of the time and place of the offline party tomorrow. At 10 o'clock in the morning, on the Bund not far from the Peninsula Hotel, there were already members of the club cleaning up the environment. You can drive there, there will be someone dedicated to receive you, and there can be no more than 3 bodyguards. This is also done to avoid unnecessary troubles and for safety precautions. No information was revealed about who was going. Not even any news about Li Shang and other rich second generations. It's so mysterious. I want to see who comes over. Will Jack Ma and Xiao Ma be there? Zhang Chen muttered and started to walk back, remembering the so-called small party again. Just when he stepped into the door of Peninsula Hotel, Nangong Ru happened to see her eyes shining with an inexplicable light. He stepped forward quickly. "Stop, I've been waiting for you for so long, and you answer a few questions." "You still here?" It must have been almost an hour. Zhang Chen was speechless. However, he could not compromise on issues of principle, so he detoured to Rudo 30 and prepared to leave. Nangong Ru continued to block, and after going back and forth a few times, Zhang Chen said impatiently, "I can answer your 2 questions, go ahead." "What's your name in the club?" "Zhang Chen." "You, what kind of girl do you like?" "What?" Zhang Chen was about to answer quickly, but when he heard this, he didn't react. Nangong Ru's face turned red and she repeated, "You, what kind of girl do you like?" Zhang Chen had a strange expression on his face and looked at Nangong Ru up and down. Naturally, he would not be so narcissistic that the other party fell in love with him in such a short period of time, and even said bad words to him before. There must be some hidden secret that he didn't know, but the change was a bit fast. "What are you asking for? What's the purpose?" Nangong Ru said in shame and annoyance. "Oh, why are you like this? I just asked you to say no. You promised me just now that if you don't say anything, you will introduce yourself to everyone." Strange question. Zhang Chen shook his head and answered casually, "I like people with better personalities." Until his figure, CCAA, disappeared at the elevator entrance, Nangong Ru was still standing there. Nangong Ru whispered softly, "What does it mean to have a good personality? Did I have a very irritable personality before? Well, let's ask Linger and the others. I feel that their previous personalities were very good." While mumbling, she walked into the elevator. She was staying at the Peninsula Hotel these days. Because she would be stared at as soon as she returned, and then a lot of rich young people would come to invite her to hang out or give her gifts. It was still novel at first, but over the next few years I became more and more disgusted. The people who come to her are all looking for money and will agree to her various requests, just like dogskin plaster. The purpose is clear, the means are numerous, and the skin is very shameless. And she didn't see it in Zhang Chen's eyes, even if he knew her identity. This is why Nangong Ru was angry at first but not angry after Zhang Chen attacked her. Even asked him why he likes what kind of girl. Time gradually passed, and when the sun rose, many people began to wash up and have breakfast. But this is not the case for the employees of Wangfahao Club. At 7 o'clock, they all set out, rushed to the Bund, arranged drinks and various delicacies, and began to clear the place. Staff were also arranged to guard the parking lot, and 3 security companies were dispatched together. It is just to maintain order in the surrounding area so that chaos will not occur. Inside, there are 2 international security companies responsible for security issues, with many retired soldiers among them. The layout of the venue lasted until 9 o'clock, and the group was initially satisfied. Most of the people who participated in the offline gathering of the rich club were already on their way there, while a small number of them had not yet gone out. And some people are sleeping in bed. Zhang Chen from Peninsula Hotel is one of them. Lu Yifei looked at the person next to him and shouted softly, "Brother Zhang, I remember you said you were going to a party yesterday and it was already 9 o'clock. If you don't get up, you'll be late." Zhang Chen said to himself in confusion. Huh? Late? At this moment, the cell phone he placed next to him rang, and it was Xiaoyu's call. After the call was connected, Xiaoyu's voice sounded. Mr. Zhang, the venue should be decorated now. You can go and take a look in advance. We young people are like this, and those old-timers will be there for the finale. Zhang Chen motioned to Lu Yifei and said with a smile. I almost forgot, I'll set off later. After he finished the call, Lu Yifei came over with some clothes and gently helped him put them on, smoothing out the wrinkles on the clothes. After putting on his clothes, Zhang Chen turned around in front of the mirror. Not bad, it can reflect his temperament. Lu Yifei said with a smile. Of course, brother Zhang, you are so handsome, no matter what clothes you wear, you can't hide your temperament. You can talk. Come back with me in a few days and be ready. Zhang Chen waved his hand and left the Peninsula Hotel. Downstairs, Li Hu started the Rolls-Royce and had been waiting for a long time. The hotel waiter is standing nearby, waiting at any time. Seeing Zhang Chen coming, the waiter said from afar. Hello, boss, please get in the car. As he spoke, he covered the top of the car with one hand. It was the waiter who had led them the way before. By doing this, you have the style of a big leader traveling, full of style. Not bad. Zhang Chen nodded with a smile. The Peninsula Hotel is very close to the Bund, so he spent some time getting dressed. Rushing to the parking lot, I was interrogated by 3 security guards. It was already 9:40 when I was officially admitted. At this time, there were both young and middle-aged people in the venue, but the two sides were clearly separated, with a large gap in the middle. Zhao Linger waved her hand from a distance. Brother Zhang, we are here, come over quickly, I have something to ask you. As soon as she spoke, some people in the venue immediately went to see a doctor. At a gathering of middle-aged people, one of the middle-aged people was confused. She's a girl from the Zhao family. Does she have a crush on that boy? He's so eye-catching? Chen Shikong was also there. He smiled and said, that is the new gold member. His name is Zhang Chen. You have never seen him before. He is very powerful. Oh, Boss Chen admires it so much, I'll have to see it later. As they chatted, they commented on the young man. Zhang Chen looked at the middle-aged men and saw that there was only one Chen Shikong he knew. He immediately turned around and headed in the direction of Zhao Linger and the others. A bunch of young people gathered over Zhao Linger. Li Shang and Zhao Muyan were all there, and they looked at Zhang Chen who was approaching with strange eyes. His eyes glanced up and down, as if he wanted to see through him from the inside out. Li Shang even murmured. This shouldn't be the case. How long has it taken? Did Brother Zhang capture a woman's heart so quickly? It's a bit strange. Zhao Muyan rarely agreed. I'll ask more later if there is a secret. Yi Xing quickly stopped him. Stop talking, there are others here. If there is a secret, just the 4 of us know it. We can't let them listen. I don't know if Nangong Ru and we have a chance. The 4 grown men chatted quietly for a while, then quickly fell silent. Oh, a man with big pig's hooves. Zhao Linger said disgustedly. Brother, I don't care about other people. They can do whatever they like, but you can't. If you go around flirting and being a scumbag, I will tell Grandma and the others to see what your end will be. Zhao Muyan's face turned bitter. He puffed up his mouth and muttered. Are you still my sister? You actually treat me like this? Your brother wants to find you a few more sisters-in-law, but you still don't want them. He really doesn't know how to enjoy them at all. While a few people were chatting and arguing, Zhang Chen had already approached. He happened to hear what Zhao Muyan said and said with a smile. How many wives does Brother Zhao want to marry? Don't you want to admit this sister yet? He dares. Zhao Linger wrinkled her nose and continued. Brother Zhang, I want to ask you some questions. If it's inconvenient, you don't have to say anything. After she finished speaking, Yi Xing, Li Shang and Feng Jia formed a circle to separate everyone. Li Shang pulled and said, Brother Zhang will definitely make it convenient. Let's discuss it in detail here. As they spoke, the 4 of them came to a dining table with no one around them, and they observed with vigilance, not letting anyone get close to them. Zhao Linger's brother and sister hurriedly came over, and they were also curious about what happened. Only Zhang Chen didn't understand what was happening. 5 people were looking at him with 10 eyes. What were they going to do? He thinks that it has not yet reached the point where men and women can take advantage of each other. Zhang Chen frowned and said, please tell me what you have to say. If you are so close, is there any illegal intention? Forget it, Sister Linger, it's too much for the four of you. Zhao Linger's face turned red and she subconsciously stepped back. Ji Shang and the four others laughed and moved away. At any other time, Zhao Muyan would have had an attack, but now he was surprisingly quiet. Finally, Li Shang stepped forward and said, Brother Zhang, have you met Nangong Ru? How did you capture her heart? Do you have any secrets? You can teach it to the four of us, even if you have to pay for it. Yi Xing nodded heavily. Yes, we have been together these days, and Nangong Ru has only been back for a few days, so it only takes 2 days. Brother Zhang, please satisfy our curiosity. A few hands would be the best. The 4 grown men looked at it expectantly. Most people really couldn't bear it. The woman next to them was also very curious. Zhang Chen was not affected by them. After hearing these words, he probably knew the reason. He nodded and then shook his head and said, I met Nangong Ru, but that person was too arrogant and we didn't have much interaction with him. As for capturing her heart, you are overthinking it and all you are hearing are nonsense. It's too late to dislike her, who knows what's wrong with the woman? Impossible. Zhao Linger exclaimed, Brother Zhang, she kept pestering me yesterday, asking about your news and your preferences. Nangong Ru also asked me what I thought of her character and whether she would be likable. Open your mouth and shut up. 9 out of 10 sentences will be about you. Zhao Muyan and the others nodded repeatedly. It was obvious that Nangong Ru was interested in Zhang Chen and had fallen in love with him. But it looks like Zhang Chen doesn't like each other very much, so what's going on? Brother Zhang, do you really have any secrets? Li Shang asked unwillingly. Zhang Chen rolled his eyes and replied casually, No, the other person likes me. Maybe it's because I'm too handsome. It's an innate talent. TCH. It's obviously narcissism. The 4 of Zhao Muyan booed. They will not admit that others are more handsome than themselves. Maybe it's really possible. Zhao Linger listened to his words and responded with approval. The 4 people looked at each other, and Li Shang even wailed. It's over. Sister Linger is also trapped. From now on, it will be difficult to find the wife you like. Zhang Chen felt proud, and said calmly on the surface. Stop arguing, there are a few old people here, please tell me who they are. The party is about to start. Will Wei come forward to host it? He didn't know most of the people in the venue. They were rich but not famous. Unlike Jack Ma and Xiao Ma Zhe, they looked familiar as soon as they showed up. Zhao Muyan glanced at the blank space in the middle. While they were chatting just now, 3 old men entered the room. He explained with some boredom. There seems to be no host. The one sitting in the middle is the head of the Qian family, the one on the left is from the Lu family, and the one on the right is the head of the Sun family. The Qian family is the most powerful. We, the younger generation, are okay. The older generation are ranked based on their strength. If we sit in the wrong seat, we will be in trouble. There is a saying that as people get older, they become more careless and careless. While they were talking, a dozen old men from outside the venue entered the venue together, led by an old man at the front. The sound of chatting came from far away. Brother Nangong, you are so happy this year that you are actually willing to come to the party. Yes, but your granddaughter hasn't chosen a man yet. Why don't you just help her identify one? That guy from my family is pretty good. Brother Zhao is talking nonsense again. Is that kid from your family better than my Yi family's Keeliner? What do you mean? Why can't you compare? Why don't you draw a line and let the 2 of you compare? When the old man in charge heard these words, he had a headache and said, How old are you 2 old guys? You still worry about the affairs of young people. I can still support it for a few years now, so there is no rush for now. And I heard from my granddaughter that she seems to have someone she likes. This is a good thing, so you have to be more cautious. He whispered again. Enter first, don't let the little guys see the joke, and stay calm. In an instant, the old man who had been arguing endlessly stopped talking, and his expression became serious, becoming a serious old man. He also showed a kind smile to both sides, and those who understand will naturally understand. For example, at this time, Zhao Muyan and Yi Xing both covered their faces with one hand and looked around between their fingers. Zhao Linger complained. Grandpa, really, you won't stop at such an occasion. How can I help when brother you and Yi Xing start a fight? Yi Xing said first. Of course you are helping me. If your brother doesn't teach me a lesson, he will always think about messing around with others. Farts, one code belongs to another, one cannot generalize. The two grandfathers hadn't decided on the matter yet, so they started to quarrel. Time gradually passed, and as a dozen old men entered the room to stir up the atmosphere, this offline gathering officially began. The meaning of offline gathering is very simple. Usually everyone is the boss of major companies and the helmsman of the family. The people who communicate the most are with their own subordinates, and they rarely talk to people at the same level. Some are also making calculations and fighting in the distance. Now that we do this, face to face, we can talk about a lot of things. There have been competitors who have turned into partners in the past. Everyone likes to be harmonious and make money, and it is best if we can win each other. To make enemies with others because of making money is because you have no choice but to do so even if you have the choice. With lessons learned from the past, this is why offline gatherings can continue to be held. There is not even a need for a host, because the identities present are all extraordinary. Who can host the 920? After the party started, the first people to take action were the middle-aged people. They stood up with wine glasses and talked with their friends. Then people who don't know each other rely on friends to introduce each other and get to know more people. In the young people's area where Li Shang is located, no one is walking around yet, everyone is in their own small circle. Zhang Chen looked around and said, "How did you attend such gatherings in previous years, like the old gentleman over there?" The old man sitting in the middle did not move around, but talked with the people nearby. Zhao Muyan shook his head seriously. "Of course not, now is not the time, we will wait for you. When those greasy middle-aged uncles meet their father, we will start walking around. If we don't make more friends, how can we crush Chen Yuhao and the others?" "Hey, I was wrong, stop." Halfway through his words, he suddenly admitted his mistake in a low voice, his voice very painful. Zhang Chen and others looked back and saw that it was Zhao Linger pinching her brother's weak spot with anger on her face. "You're saying that? I'll file a complaint when I get back. Dad and Grandpa are playing mixed doubles." Li Shangshao's mouth widened. "Successfully committing suicide series, even my own father said that Sister Linger must not let him go." Zhang Chen suddenly realized that among the middle-aged people, there should be Zhao Muyan's father. Listening to the previous conversations between the old people, Yi Xing and Zhao Muyan's grandfathers might also be here. Li Shang and the others sat in their seats and waited for a long time. Finally, they couldn't bear it anymore and started to move around separately. Zhao Muyan immediately walked towards the group of old men, followed closely by Yi Xing. "Because if you want to go to the middle-aged people, you need to pass through these old people." Zhang Chen stood up and looked behind him. Except for a few young people around him, he didn't recognize any of the young people. There was only one Wang Kongking who often made gossip, and he barely recognized him. That was the real estate tycoon, the son of King Jianlin, and he was a relatively high-profile second-generation rich man. I didn't expect that he would also participate. But Zhang Chen had no intention of meeting him in the past. No one recommended him, so the acquaintance could only rely on fate. Go up to them directly and praise each other's reputation to make friends? That obviously doesn't exist. Just when Zhang Chen wanted to sit down and eat, Chen Shikong waved to him from a distance among the middle-aged crowd. "Brother Zhang, come and sit down. I have something to tell you." After Zhang Chen heard this, he was not happy, but suddenly remembered what happened in the bar. Could it be that after beating my son, I stepped in to deal with the aftermath, right? Probably not. Zhao Muyan and the others said that this was just a fight between young people and it would be fine. Zhang Chen comforted himself in his heart, but on the outside he smiled happily, picked up the goblet and walked over. He is not afraid at all if the other party is arrogant, but is worried about the other party saying nice things, being reasonable, and showing off. He kept thinking about what might happen, but no one else thought so. Among the young people, some wealthy second-generation people pointed at Zhang Chen's background and asked, "Who is that person? Why haven't I seen him before?" Being invited by Chen Shikong is quite a feat. I don't even have the ability. Someone next to him immediately complimented, "Young Master Wang, look at what you said. If you nod and agree, someone will invite you immediately over there." The man named Mr. Wang was a little impatient. "I relied on my father's background, and he relied on himself. How can this be the same? I know people who have real backgrounds. If that's not the case, please tell me quickly." "Young Master Wang, that person should be a newcomer. He was hanging out with Zhao Muyan and the others just now. Just wait and ask." No one around him answered immediately, and the scene suddenly became cold. When Zhang Chen passed the old man's area, he happened to pass by Zhao Muyan and Yi Xing. Seeing the two of them talking, he nodded slightly and walked straight over. Zhao Muyan and Yi Xing looked on in shock. They had heard Zhang Chen mention it before and had some friendship with Chen Shikong. I didn't expect that our friendship would be so good, and they would all call us brother. No wonder Zhang Chen himself said that he is a generation higher than Chen Yuhao, which is totally fine. Suddenly, Zhao Muyan's grandfather asked, Muyan, do you know that young man? Zhao Muyan quickly replied, Ah, we know each other. We are still good friends. He is the new gold member of the club. Which company does he belong to, or is he a gold member? Zhao Muyan said truthfully, It's not a family from the Magic City, it's based in Nanchang, and it's all by working hard on your own. Grandpa, I'm going to see my father. I've been missing you very much these days. Is that so? Go ahead. It's right for young people to make more friends. Just be careful. Zhao Muyan's grandfather waved his hand. Not long after Zhao Muyan left, Zhao Linger came up to complain, preparing to expose her brother's evil deeds. Among the middle-aged people, Chen Shikong saw Zhang Chen coming and stepped forward alone. He said from a distance, Brother Zhang, I haven't seen you at the club in the past few days. Are you busy here? Zhang Chen toasted. No, isn't this a conflict with Brother Chen and your son, so he doesn't dare to go there. After much thought, he decided to clarify the matter first. Taking the initiative to speak out and being spoken out are two different results. In Dadu, he is also his son, but if there is a real trouble, Zhang Chen will not be afraid. Chen Shikong was stunned for a moment, then clinked glasses with Zhang Chen. Brother Zhang is so sincere, so I won't hide it. I've heard about the fight between you and Quanzi, but you don't have to worry. It's normal for young men to argue over women. I was young too, but I still hope Brother Zhang will take care of my face and spare him a few more times. After hearing Chen Shikong's request, Zhang Chen raised his eyebrows. He had thought that the other party was going to show off his cards, or would directly attack him, asking him not to embarrass his son. I didn't expect it to be this kind of request. It was very simple and easy to handle. Zhang Chen said with a smile, You have stood up for whatever Brother Chen said. As long as Chen Yuhao doesn't take the initiative to provoke me in the future, nothing will happen. When it comes time to take action, I will be much less aggressive. Let's put some empty promises first, but don't tie yourself down. You still have to take action. Chen Shikong naturally heard the charm. He shook his head slightly. When I go back, I will strictly discipline the dogs. Comparing his son with the young man in front of him, the gap emerged again. It was really incomparable. As the comparison continued, he wanted to open a small account and level up. This large account was obviously useless. As soon as the two of them finished talking, two Chinese people came next to them. They all looked to be around 40 years old and usually take good care of themselves, but there is still a hint of age. One of them smiled and said, Boss Chen, this is the young man you have always admired. He is indeed handsome and handsome. That's right. Just talking about the appearance, my son can't keep up with the 22 horses. Seeing the two people praising him, Zhang Chen said modestly, The two brothers are overly complimentary. This is probably due to acquired hard work and innate growth. He didn't know the two of them and didn't know how to address them, so he just used the title, Old Brother. And he told the truth, his current appearance was acquired. But to the ears of Chen Shikong and the others, that was humility. Chen Shikong glanced at the two middle-aged men who came, pointed at Zhang Chen and said, Boss Zhao, Boss Yi, this is Zhang Chen, a new member of the club. Acid Assessment is a gold member. He has worked hard to achieve this by himself, which is very impressive. The two of them looked refreshed. How could they achieve a net worth of over 1 billion by working hard alone? They all thought to themselves that it was worth it to make friends with them this time. As long as this kind of person doesn't die in the middle, he will eventually become the best kind of person. The man known as Boss Zhao sighed. The waves behind the Yangtze River push the waves ahead. Young people today are really amazing. When I was young, I was still in the factory. Boss Zhao, the current era is better, and there are some small opportunities, Zhang Chen said modestly. Boss Zhao shook his head slightly. I had a lot of opportunities at that time, but I still couldn't do it. My name is Zhao Zheng. If you don't mind, just call me Boss Chen. Just call me brother. Maybe we will have opportunities to cooperate in the future. The other boss Yi also said, that makes sense, my name is Yi Leguo, you also call me brother, let us take advantage of our age. Zhang Chen said with a smile. What did you two say? It's an honor for me to have a relationship with you. Then I'll call you two brothers from now on, I hope you don't mind. When others give him face, Zhang Chen will naturally give him face too. Moreover, given their age, he could call them uncle, but he took advantage of them by calling them brother. Yi Leguo and Zhao Zheng didn't think about it, or they thought about it and didn't try to find out. Zhao Zheng laughed and said, Brother Zhang, let's go over and have some drinks. This party the club still showed some sincerity, there is something there. Let's go over and take a look. The four of them went to the wine table in the center to eat and each took a glass of red wine. But when a young man appeared among a group of middle-aged people, he was still very eye-catching. Many people noticed this scene. If it was someone's heir, it would be okay, but the young man was talking and laughing with the three middle-aged people around him. No matter how you look at it, I don't think my son's attitude towards me is more like a friend. In the young people area, Wang Kongqing put down the wine glass in his hand and murmured to himself. I must make friends with that person. If he can thrive in the middle-aged area, he must have extraordinary abilities. With this idea in mind, Wang Kongqing did not move his body, let alone take the initiative to talk to anyone. Just sit there and pay attention to Zhang Chen over there, waiting for when he will come back. Yi Xing and Zhao Muyan, who were about to go over to meet their father, looked at each other and walked in the direction of Zhang Chen. The two of them were talking in a low voice, a little weird. Yi Xing asked in a low voice, Brother Zhao, isn't it said that your father has a bad temper, so that you are taught a lesson every day, and he also has a bad temper towards outsiders? What now? What do you mean I'm being taught a lesson every day? It's training me. Zhao Muyan's face turned red and he argued in a low voice. Okay, it's tempering. Tell me why Zhang Chen and your father had such a pleasant conversation. Yi Xing curled his lips. Who doesn't know about your Zhao family's affairs? Is it useful to hide it like this? Zhao Muyan said as he walked. How'd I know this? Just go and ask. I don't think you have a bad temper either. I am now like a friend with Zhang Chen. I smile more than when I face you. HMPH, what do you know? Yi Xing raised his head proudly. I like reading faces. He didn't say anything later. As for his appearance, he could only let others guess slowly. It's just that the more Zhao Muyan thought about it, the less he dared to think about it, and his steps became much faster. The two walked into the circle of middle-aged people and approached Zhang Chen and the four of them. Yi Leguo's voice came. Boss Chen, your son has not been very active recently. You need to help him adjust more. Young people fight for women, and there is no order of severity. I heard from my son that there were conflicts in the club bar before, all because of that Nangong Ru. Zhao Zheng shook his head. The same goes for my boy. The two of them actually knew how to join forces and say hello to you first. Chen Shikong said helplessly, it's okay, Brother Zhang is also involved, I understand. While the three of them were talking, Zhang Chen saw Zhao Muyan coming over and waved. Brother Zhao, Brother Yi, come here. When the two of them walked in, Zhang Chen took the initiative to introduce them without waiting for them to speak. These two are my friends, Zhao Muyan and Yi Xing. They are from the same family as Brother Zhao and Brother Yi. They are really destined. He thought that Zhao Muyan and the two came here mainly to accompany him, so as not to be surrounded by middle-aged people. But after the words were finished, the scene was very quiet for a time, and the atmosphere was weirdly over the top. Chen Shikong's eyes widened and he suppressed a smile and said, Ahem, so what, these two are the sons of Boss Yi and Boss Zhao. Sure enough, the tiger father has no dog son, and he has a strong momentum. Yi Leguo and Zhao Zhenghai's faces twitched, and they quickly adjusted their status and acted as if nothing was wrong. Zhao Muyan and Yi Xing were on the verge of collapse. Brother? What's going on? Their father and his friend are brothers? Isn't that the same as Chen Yuhao, twice as low as that, and he wants to be called Uncle Zhang? It's funny when something happens to others, but it's scary when it happens to you. Zhao Muyan and Yi Xing looked at their fathers eagerly, trying to get them to speak. This was all false. In fact, it was Zhang Chen who was taking advantage of them. Being stared at by their son, Yi Leguo and Zhao Zheng pretended not to see it. They looked into the distance, as if there was something good looking over there that attracted their attention. Yi Xing and Zhao Muyan watched intently. Call your friend uncle? One is awkward, and the other is difficult to speak, especially when meeting other people of the same age in the future. Everyone else calls him Brother Zhang, but they call him Uncle Zhang. In the end, he couldn't pretend anymore. Zhao Zhenghei's face straightened and he criticized seriously. Brother Zhang is a very talented person. What's wrong with me calling him that? Do you have any objections? Then his face softened and he persuaded. But after all, I am a person from the previous generation, and I am a self-bred. The relationship between you and Zhang Chen is still maintained by yourselves. It remains the same as it was before. As soon as he said this, Zhao Muyan turned his head and muttered softly. On the other side, after learning from it, Yi Leguo also said similar words to his son. The previous generation made friends according to their own temperament, and the next generation didn't have to worry about it, and they couldn't care about it anyway. Seeing how the matter developed, Zhang Chen smiled and came out to smooth things over. What the two brothers said makes sense. Brother Zhao and Brother Yi, we don't need to be so restrained when we get along. You can call me Zhang Chen or Brother Zhang. Of course, I don't mind if you call me Uncle Zhang. The three elders all laughed. Ha ha. Zhao Muyan bulged his mouth and said dejectedly. That's it, I'll go over first. I wanted to say something nice. Yi Xing had no idea of talking to his father. Didn't he see that there was an Uncle Zhang, who was about the same age as him next to him? The two of them came and left quickly, and overall they didn't exchange a few words. Zhang Chen smacked his lips. Why didn't he just call uncle and leave? He really wanted to experience that feeling. Zhao Zheng listened to his son's words and secretly decided to educate his son when he went back. And Chen Shikong suddenly realized that his son seemed to be facing this situation as well. Just say hello when you get back. Don't mess with Zhang Chen if you have nothing to do. Let's socialize with our peers. The four people had different thoughts, and when they were interrupted by Yi Xing and the others, they started talking to other places. Zhang Chen has experienced a lot along the way, and the three of them can talk about a few topics. On the other side, Yi Xing and Zhao Muyan, who were returning the same way, were entangled in their hearts. Should you confess what happened just now, or make an agreement with Zhang Chen not to mention it to anyone? In the area where the older generation was passing, Zhao Muyan's grandfather watched his grandson walking by with a smile. No wonder I just came here for a visit and this time I pretended not to see him. Without the granddaughter's reminder, this kid would have gotten away with it. Zhao Muyan was unaware of everything. As soon as they returned, Li Shang, Feng Jia and Zhao Linger came up to them. Hey, tell me, what is Brother Zhang doing over there, chatting with people from the previous generation for so long? Yes, and you too, why did you come back so fast? Brother, you saw that your father didn't even say a word, and made him angry. He didn't even look at you just now. The three of them talked to each other, talking about the problem like a series of cannonballs. Yi Xing sighed helplessly. I didn't hear what Brother Zhang was talking about. We were held back. As for the follow-up, let's wait. He hasn't decided whether to deal with it or work with Zhang Chen to hide it. Zhao Muyan was furious when he heard what his sister said. He's still not happy. You don't know what he did. That's because he didn't dare to look at me. Zhao Linger puffed up her cheeks. Brother, how can you say that? Tell me what your father has done. Zhao Muyan stopped talking mid-sentence, pulled his sister aside and explained quietly. After a short time, the two brothers and sisters walked back silently, with different expressions on their faces. As Zhao Linger's expression changed, she occasionally grinded her teeth, looked at her father's area in the distance, and clenched her little fists. Li Shang was the only two people who didn't know the specific process and were even more curious. Unfortunately, the three of them just didn't say anything. Feng Jia said unhappily. What's the big deal? I'll ask Brother Zhang the same thing when he comes back. While they were talking, they turned around and saw Zhang Chen and Chen Shikong saying goodbye. All four of them had smiles on their faces. When Zhang Chen was about to come back, Wang Kongking, who had been paying attention, his eyes lit up. He picked up his wine glass and planned to go over. Before leaving, he rolled his eyes and found someone who was close to Li Shang and others and asked him to introduce him. Zhang Chen was in a very good mood after bidding farewell to the three elder brothers Chen Shikong. He had a good conversation with the three of them and exchanged business cards with each other. If anything happens from now on, if they come to their door, they will help anyone they can. Li Shang waved from a distance. Brother Zhang, I'm here to ask you something. Just as Zhang Chen was about to go over, brother and sister Yi Xing and Zhao Muyan took the lead and pulled him aside while blocking Feng Jia from eavesdropping. Zhao Muyan said in a low voice, Brother Zhang, let me tell you something. The return of that peer is valid. However, the relationship between our father and you should not be publicized, otherwise the two of Li Shang will cause trouble and everyone in the city will know it. Seeing their embarrassed expressions, Zhang Chen understood. I understand this, but I won't tell anyone. They know it from elsewhere, and I can't help it. Brother and sister Yi Xing and Zhao Muyan breathed a sigh of relief, feeling a huge weight drop in their hearts. Feng Jia and Li Shang were able to get together. No matter how they asked questions, Zhang Chen followed the agreement and did not say anything. The two of them were very curious, but there was nothing they could do. At this moment, two young men came up from behind the 6 people, one of whom led the way. Zhang Chen's eyes flashed and he recognized one of them. It was Wang Kongqing. The other one had no impression, but Li Shang was a little surprised and said, Zhou Yuan, did you also attend this party? The man named Zhou Yuan smiled and immediately introduced Wang Kongqing behind him. This is the purpose of his trip. Wang Kongqing and the other 6 people have all heard of his name, but they have no close friendship with him because their circles are different. This time the other party took the initiative to come over, which made them a little confused. Seeing that there was no active welcome, Wang Kongqing said with a smile, I'm here to get to know this friend this time. It's not easy to get the recognition of the previous generation. I don't have this blessing. No one could hear the envy in his tone. Zhang Chen just smiled, with no change in expression on his face. The 8 young people were relatively speechless, not knowing what to say for a moment. Seeing that the atmosphere was not right, Li Shang pointed to the table not far away and said with a smile, Let's go over there and sit there for a while. I'm so tired of standing around. This is a party. Sit down and chat slowly. After all, it was through his relationship that he found her, so it was hard for him to brush it off. Zhang Chen nodded slightly. Okay, the middle-aged uncle and the others are almost done talking, and they heard some interesting things just now. It's relatively easy to get recognition from the older generation. I didn't take the initiative to do anything. They seemed to recognize me directly. His words were a full-scale blow. Zhao Muyan twitched the corner of his mouth and Feng Jia's steps moved a little faster. Yi Xing shook his head and walked forward. Until now, they have only been recognized by their fathers and elders, and it is difficult for others to recognize them. Most of the recognition from parents is due to blood relationship. Not long after, the 8 people sat down again, and Wang Kongqing sat not far from Zhang Chen. Li Shang raised the wine glass in his hand and said, Come on, let's have a drink first, and then we talk. Also, Brother Zhang, what you just said is wrong. It's really difficult for the previous generation to recognize you. We people are not as fierce as you, so it will be easier for Mr. Wang to be recognized. After all, reputation will be built. But he hasn't succeeded until now, almost. Zhang Chen was slightly startled and said subconsciously, Famous? Which nickname is Wang Kongqing? He has many nicknames, and there is also a lot of gossip. Anyway, I don't think it's difficult. If you want to be famous, just hype it up and you'll get better quickly. That's because you have strength, Brother Zhang, Zhao Linger praised. Among his peers, there are those who have worked hard on their own without directly inheriting the family property and are worth more than 1 billion. Looking at the young people in Shanghai, except for Zhang Chen, no one can do it. The accumulation of reputation is only a supporting role, and in the end, strength has to speak for itself. If Zhang Chen didn't have a net worth of more than 1 billion and didn't become a gold member at a young age, even if Chen Shikong and others were polite to him, they wouldn't be able to maintain their coolness for long. Calling me brother would be considered a joke. If you have strength, you are a brother. Wang Kongqing finally interjected at this time. Brother Li and the others are different from me. I have no competitors and can play whatever I want. The family business, no matter what happens in the end, will be inherited by me. But when you become famous, it is easy to be framed or slandered. Your reputation rises and falls, that's all. He stopped mid-sentence quickly. Zhang Chen suddenly realized, no wonder he rarely saw Fu Xiao's voice on the internet, except for a few high-profile ones. It turns out that there are other reasons. Reputation is both a cost and a burden. Zhao Muyan suddenly shook his head, seeming to point out, so, it is better to be an only child, unlike me. A biological sister goes to praise other people every day and never comes to praise her own brother. Zhao Linger, do you think that's right? You. Zhao Linger was so angry that she couldn't speak. She puffed up her cheeks. You didn't let me find anything that I could praise you for. What else can you do besides getting into trouble and just having fun? That's right. Li Shang said with a smile. Sister Linger, come with me to go out for fun later. I will take you to a few places, which are very interesting. Or you can plan to go out to sea. Zhao Muyan looked embarrassed and glared at Li Shang again, giving a silent warning. While everyone was having fun, the awkward atmosphere was dispersed, and Wang Kongqing and Zhou Yuan also joined in. There was no conflict between the two parties before, it was just the gap caused by different circles. Young people can quickly accept new things. Zhang Chen glanced at the middle-aged area and suddenly asked, Young Master Wang, didn't your father come over this time? There are also Jack Ma and others. They always appear on TV and new media. They have also joined the club. Why not come to participate in the activities? I still want to communicate with them. Do you know the reason for this? Li Shang shook his head helplessly. There seems to be a lot of Taoism in it, but the old man never mentioned it to CCFE, me. Zhao Linger thought for a while and said, similarly, I asked my grandfather before, and he only said that the younger generations are arrogant and have enough capital, so they don't need to care about it. In the end, everyone's eyes turned to Wang Kongqing, who knew better. Wang Kongqing rolled his eyes. What's so curious about this? When I first joined the club, they ran here every day. After that, I gradually grew up and felt that I didn't need it anymore, so I didn't come, but I didn't quit the club either. It just kept dragging on like this. The people he was talking about were his father, King Jianlin, Jack Ma and others. When I didn't get up, I looked around for resources and borrowed my strength. When I reached a high place, I put down a few things. There is another reason, that is, there are seniors here, weighing down several people, making it difficult to really let go. Zhang Chen shook his head regretfully. It seemed that his small goal of becoming brothers with those two brothers would still have to be delayed. However, as long as they are still at the club, there will always be opportunities. Wang Kongqing asked in a low voice, Brother Zhang, do you want to see my father for something? If possible, I can tell him for you, or make an appointment for you two to meet. Zhang Chen was stunned for a moment and waved his hand. Forget it, no trouble. He can't say, I want to meet your father, and then call him brother, and in turn become your uncle? Now we all know each other, and if we meet in the future and have any beneficial relationship, we can be regarded as half-friends. Wang Kongqing's chest thumped loudly. It's no trouble. If you want to tell me something, Brother Zhang can just say it. Let's do it next time. Zhang Chen looked stiff and then declined. At this moment, something seemed to be living in the old man's area not far from us. My granddaughter will be here soon. She really doesn't like anyone yet. If you make this bet with me, you are destined to lose. HMPH, my grandson has been chasing that girl for so long, and he said there is progress. Let's just bet. I can still be afraid of you, old man Zhao. Anyway, I'm a long time old, so I don't need to care about the reputation. Wait a minute, old man Yi, you will know the result. Most of the young people heard the voices of the three old people, but they were all confused. I had no idea what they were talking about, because I couldn't think of going together, and I didn't know who the three old people were. On the contrary, many people in the middle-aged area laughed, giving people a feeling of treachery. In the young people area, the expressions of Yi Xing and Zhao Muyan changed drastically. Zhao Linger smiled brightly, looked at her brother, and winked playfully. Come on. Get up. Zhang Chen turned around and asked, what's going on?